a sense of lack of abundance with a lot of black culture. Now, Kenya is different. South Africa is a little different, because aren't aggressive like a black American man, but places where men are aggressively shooting they shot at chicks, like the Caribbean, I wouldn't want to be in those societies because they're gonna be looking at you side eye for sure. Salute, Ronin.
What's good? What's good? What's good, fellas? How are you? How are you?
Good, man.
Nothing much, man.
Tanzania and Tony, no excuse. All right, brothers, I'm gonna have to push back because y'all pussyfooting around with this conversation, man.
Go ahead.
First of all, there is an international beauty standard. Because how else will we have a scale rating 1 to 10? There's certain looks or certain body profiles that we consider beautiful internationally. That's why they have a Miss Universe, a Miss USA, and so many other pageants worldwide. So there is a standard for beauty. Now, I think you guys are getting standard versus preference confused. There might be an international standard, but that might not be your preference.
Well, from what I gather, he was saying like the average white man versus average black man, like what we would consider like attractive.
And that would go back to preference, not beauty standard. She could be beautiful, and you could think she's fucking ugly as hell because of her soul, something that she did outside of just her physical beauty. There's something that could be about her that you just don't like. And that goes to preference more so than beauty.
What I think is, it's just that we only take in the Western opinion of a lot of things versus like the Eastern opinion, because there are a lot of difference between Eastern society and Western society. You know? Right. And then in between these countries, there's even differences as well. Because like I was saying, does a white man's beauty standard supersede a black man's beauty standard? Because if you ask these local people, what do they consider beautiful, it'll be different from what a white person does. Right on.
Right.
You've been to Uganda.
You see a lot of beauty. You see a lot of bleaching in Africa too.
Yeah, because they've been colonized enough to think that the whiter. Okay, I'll put it this way: being the light guy on the panel, do I get preference in other countries? Me and Big Mike were talking about it in the chat. Absolutely, I get preference in other countries because of my lighter skin. Does that say I'm not black? Hell no, I'm black as fuck, but that doesn't matter. My skin tone dictates how I'm treated. We all know this, right. So while you're traveling worldwide, again, the advantage goes to, unfortunately, the lighter skinned guy who's not being prejudged initially based on just being black. You know what I mean? I'm getting a little more consideration than you guys are on first appearance and approach.
See, going back to what No Excuse said earlier, I agree with you. It just depends on the country. So like in Uganda, that will be the case. Now, Tanzania and Kenya, it just depends. It depends, because some women more like the dark African warrior type look.
And again, that goes to preference.
Right. But there's no real standard of beauty, though. Well, actually, no. I would say the standard is tribal, right? So wouldn't it be like if you let's say you're in a small city, right? And the only people that are around you, let's use social anthropology, right? So how could you let's say most Africans have round heads. How would you be interested in a square head type person where that's not what you see ever? You know what I'm saying?
Because people like exotic things that they're not used to seeing. Just like our language, when we speak English, has an accent to most other cultures, but when they speak their English version of English, it's normal. We speak with an accent to them, and that's a turn on by ear. That's appealing to a lot of people. That's why when we go to certain countries and we hear a certain accent spoken by a woman, it's very much more appealing to hear them speak English versus our own that we're tuned to.
Right, but some features are not exotic though. Like I know guys that, like I think East African women are beautiful, but some guys will say, "Man, I don't like the forehead," or some of them got foreheads that they're not used to.
Some people have forehead issues. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So my forehead blends in East Africa, and they're like, "Oh shit, you're a mixed forehead person." You know what I mean? So even let's say me, I'm walking in the mall, right? I'm not a small dude, right? So they know I'm not from there, stuff like that. So like they just be grilling the whole time. My wife is uncomfortable. Even let's say I'm gonna do a video about this, right? Remember I told you at the bank, no excuse, we talked on the phone, where I got some money to go pay for my building in my house, but they isolate me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm isolated on an island. No matter where I go, they know I'm not one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like they know.
And it could be because of the way you carry yourself, the way you speak English.
No,
they
even
know
if
that you speak more proper, and you're coming from America.
What they say is it's just without even speaking. It's just they say my black is a different kind of black. So these Africans, since they're used to dealing with Africans, they can look and see like certain features, like, oh, you're not from this part. You know what I'm saying? They could tell. I thought that was interesting, but we don't really know that because we don't identify that. You know what I'm saying? In America, like, oh, Sierra Leone, oh, this, oh, that. We don't really know anything about the motherland.
That's true.
The lady at the bank called my wife's phone and was like, "Oh, I accidentally gave you guys the extra $40. How can you help me?" She called from her personal line, tried to scam me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bitch, shit. Hung up on her. But yeah, that shit happens.
Yeah. No, yeah. I even said this about Latin America. Like I've been around Latin America so much. Like I know what a Venezuelan it looked like versus a Colombian versus a Dominican. But when I first traveled, I couldn't tell the difference between anything. You know, even some of the Asian chicks. Like I know Filipinas, you know, real easy, or a Thai chick. You know.
Why would you say you know them more so? What's
Well, I can recognize like the feet because a lot of Filipinos they got them noses, man. They got them noses. So.
And I could hear Tagalog because I used to be married to one, so I could hear it. Oh,
okay. See.
But even there's Filipino chicks that are married to local towns. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh really?
Yeah, man. Like there's even like I was telling you, there's Black American chicks. It's very few that are married to local guys here. They get the dependent residency, and you could just chill. I don't know how that relates.
You ever ran into Ashley in Africa in TZ?
You know, I may have. It's just like
that's an interesting question Big Mike just asked.
What do you ask?
How are mixed kids treated in Africa?
I know of a story with O'Shea. It was a guy, he had interviewed a guy, he was half Nigerian and then half Irish.
Oh wow, what a mix.
And he said when he went to Nigeria, he said they looked at him. He said he did not feel welcome at all because of his, you know, he was light skinned. You know, he lives in Uganda now, but he was just saying like,
that's my biggest apprehension about going to Africa is that same fact.
Yeah, if you go to West Africa, nigga, they look at you like a diluted African.
And my highest African nation is Cameroonian.
Well, West Africa is more aggressive too, though.
Yeah.
It was way more dangerous than East Africa. East Africa, ain't nobody gonna bother you. You would just they might try to finesse you. That's about it.
Yeah, if you got not you, brother, but like if you got trauma from growing up where you was where you was chastised for being light skinned.
See, everybody knows that about us. See, that's the thing right there. Y'all think we had it easy. None of us had it easy. If you got a light-skinned brother that got a straight nose still, that motherfucker know how to throw hands. Let's put it that way. Because you sure enough got attacked enough.
Yeah, West Africa, you gonna relive some of those memories, man. You like, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, also, and this is another thing, preference, standard, whatever. In America, African features aren't really considered beautiful because of slavery and shit like that. But in Africa, African features are considered beautiful. So
exactly. You right, bro. Cause I you got chastised, like, I learned how to, growing up, I learned how to roast at a young age because I used to get flamed, bro. I got called Matumbo, Manubo.
It's because of slavery.
Not the African booty scratcher one. They didn't throw the old school African booty scratcher at you, did they?
Now they didn't do that, but
They did that.
Flame though, man. I'm just like, damn, dog. Man, I got.
Had to catch fades.
You said what?
Had to catch fades, like.
I used to roast back, so it was a. Let me see. It was elementary, middle school. Elementary was fun. It was fun, man. We used to do a school bus roasting, just the whole rats in the school bus. But yeah, they used to get. I was on a basketball team too, and I was like, I was skinny. But Manute Bowl, man, I used to hate that shit, dog. Cause Manute Bowl, that nigga just.
Don't tell me they came at you because of Manute.
That's that side. That Manute Bowl was dark, had that little red nose. Man, I used to catch the business, man.
He said I was catching strays because of Manute. Damn.
When Akon came out, it was over.
Did you get roasted too?
Yeah, New York. I'm from New York City. It was up. It was up. New York City. But that's another reason why I wouldn't want my kids to grow up like dark skinned in America.
Yo, what'd you just say? What does that matter?
What?
Whether he's dark skinned or not.
Nah, because like it's still the remnants of slavery where like people will refer to you as like dark ass nigga. It's like kind of banter a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like where they in Africa they don't pick at you for your skin color. Everybody's all black. It's a lot of self-hate that was implemented by the colonizer, the slavers.
Yeah, but that's a reverse self-hate, even though the way you said it. If anything, I should hate the fact that I'm lighter than everybody else and I would want to be darker, which is true. At one point, I had that opinion of myself, that I was too deluded to be in one group or another. I was excluded from things because I talked too proper and I was too light. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you ain't black enough. Most thing we heard most of the time growing up. My color. Yeah. Now, your color, you didn't deal with that. You dealt with the reverse.
I dealt with the African booty scratcher stuff, and
right.
like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I think it was more of you're more chastised for having African features in America than being mixed, because it's like basically being the equivalent of a mulatto. Mulattoes had more rights, even in South Africa, which is a copy and paste of America. The coloreds, i.e., mulatto mixed people, they were afforded more rights than the Zulus.
Wouldn't that be the same as the house nigga that was in the South, based on the fact that he might have been a descendant of either the slave master or one of the taskmasters of the slaves?
Yes, and the house nigga was running shit. house nigga wasn't doing Mandingo fight with manicures and pedicures. I was picking cotton.
I would say this: sometimes being closer to the master was a problem more so than being out of sight, out of mind.
I agree. There was sick masters that was taking tools in people's asses and shit like that. I do agree.
There is something to saying easy access to the person in the house versus the one out in the field that keeps a low profile.
That's true. There's no absolute, but I think we could all agree in the Americas being mixed, even in like Brazil, Colombia, Dominican Republic, all these slave trade places, like I said, because there's really pronounced differences between Atlantic slave trade countries and countries that weren't in that, as far as how black.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if you look at Louisiana, for instance, and I've been doing a lot of research on Creoles and the history of Louisiana from France and the purchase of it, and how France had owned a strip of the United States from Louisiana, from the port all the way up into Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So when Louisiana was first purchased from France, it was deregulated and decentralized. I mean, white people were marrying black people were marrying Indians, and back and forth, back and forth. There was no racism. If you really want to talk about the truly melting pot of America, it started in Louisiana. Well, once the South brought Louisiana, they started having to regulate the fact that the Creoles were so integrated and so mixed between all the cultures. They started racism within that culture strictly because they didn't like it. Y'all need to read up on the Creole on Creole Nation and what went down in Louisiana. But it was totally a melting pot. It didn't matter whether you were white, black, Indian. Everybody had even keel in Louisiana before the Americans brought them from France.
Yeah, I've seen some Cajuns, or the people that call them some Cajuns. They very light, but you can see some nigga in them.
Yeah, and there's actually a ratio. If you look at the ratio of the integration for Creoles, there's a certain position of black versus Indian or Spanish to white, and that makes up what you would consider a Creole. And it could be either from Cuban, South America, or some other culture that's part of the Spanish part into the other parts.
Man,
that's sad, man. Yeah, my little cousin came out here last year, and
so you Big Mike, you know then. And then that's the whole thing. We started off speaking French coming out. A lot of our families spoke French as a first language, or Creole. But it's Canadian Creole or Canadian French, not French from France.
What was you saying, Tony?
No, I was saying what True Prodigy was saying about his sister saying bully because of dark skin. You know what I'm saying? And that's another difference. My sister and I had different dads. My sister's part Portuguese, half Portuguese, so she's not dark. So she didn't experience that treatment. But my cousins that were the females that were dark skinned, pure black or whatever, I got the real of it when they came to visit me last year, and it was really sad. I was like, damn, it was that bad. Because for dudes, at least we could roast back, we could fight. As a girl, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, girls don't roast like that, man. It's just like they just gotta take it all in.
Oh, girls are more evil than dudes. I mean, women like to leave scars on your face and your body and shit. Women will cut your face just because of the way you look. Dudes ain't doing that. We ain't going that far. We'll beat your ass. We ain't trying to scar your ass. Women do.
Yeah. Unless it's real beef.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do something heinous to a dude for him to do that to you. Like, that's real hatred right there. That's like a blood feud for a dude to maim you. You know what I mean? Like, it's real problems.
See, I don't know how different it is for like me getting roasted, and I know that some people roasted me because I got African features. I don't think it bothered me as much because I knew I wasn't like African. But if I was like, if I was of Caribbean descent or from African descent, it probably would hit different because it's like, damn, man, like you know, I'm looking at you like my brother or whatever. And I come from a culture, they really come from a culture that don't roast like that.
Right.
I got into it with the South African chick about it. She was like, well, we don't roast each other. Well, really, they do roast each other, but they don't see it how we see it. But
yeah, the words ain't as painful because they have really no meaning to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
America, nigga. Destroy you.
The worst. It was one joke, man. The whole city bus was rolling because we used to be we had school buses and we used to have public. You know, we used to go to school on public bus too. Man, this one dude he called me a lit Oreo, and niggas. You know, Oreo was dark, right? So when you lick it, it just becomes more dark.
No, he didn't do that to you. Damn, that's original as fuck. I ain't never heard that one. A licked Oreo. Well, that shit is kind of like melded together and darker because of the moisture. Oh man, that's fucked up.
Oh yeah, that was. Like, I remember niggas was it was a lot of
that's wild.
But they were like, you throw salt on you, you look like deep space or something like that. Oh, cool. But or they call you a field dude, or whatever. But you could fire back and be like, that's why Massa was playing with your head inside the crib. You know what I'm saying?
That's raw, bro.
Yeah. So some guys, if they wasn't from like the roasting culture, like they really, if they wasn't good at clapping back then, it was just like it hurt them more. You know what I mean? Like Michael Blackson, he seemed like he said he got funny from people roasting him.
Yeah, you after a while you can't do nothing but have to fight back. You know what I'm saying?
You know.
East Coast is vicious, bro.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
The Midwest is vicious too, man.
West is vicious.
Well, you start dealing with a lot of rednecks in the Midwest. Once I moved from the East, because I moved from the East Coast to the Midwest. Because I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, lived in upstate, New York, Germantown, Philadelphia, before we moved to the Midwest. So yeah, it's a different kind of joning out here, and then you get the white boys involved with the racist shit. More so on the East Coast, it's all us talking about each other. You get some white boys involved in that shit, and then it gets a whole nother level of racist type of comments coming out of people's mouths. You know what I mean?
The only way black people in America unify is if we're in the minority, just like in basic training. In basic training, you get another brother, you point fingers like, hey, you know what I mean? That's your battle buddy right there.
Facts.
One other brother, oh yeah, we gonna ride or die together, homie. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time. If it's too many of us, we at each other in the West.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's why, even me formatting this AfroSundays, like I'm not all in Africa or all in like Afro-Latin culture, because as Black Americans, like we relate because we relate to a lot of Afro Latinos because they are a minority group in their respective countries. And so people that are descendants of enslaved people, we have some
common ground.
Yeah, commonality, that we don't have with Africans. But then with Africans, we have some commonality when it comes to blackness, because a lot of Afro Latinos, some of them don't embrace blackness or Afro.
They in straight denial. No black.
Yeah.
Me no black.
Yeah.
Now, as light as I am, I'm probably darker than some of the dudes in the room. Because I will argue you tooth and nail, bro.
Yeah, take that shit to West Virginia. See what they say.
He said a lot of dark skinned males are jealous of light skinned black men because they are more attractive than giving women. This is why they bully.
Of course, they call us pretty Rickies, pretty boys, all that shit, bro.
And that's why some of the light skinned thugs had to go harder to prove
exactly my point. Yeah,
that's true. Cause my cousin, man, he like my big brother. He was light skinned, man, and that nigga used to knock niggas out for me. He wasn't one you want to play with, man. And but he got bullied when he was a young bull. And I used to I used to tease him, be like, man, don't let me call them dark skinned niggas on your ass. You know, but he grew up and he was he was a beast, you know.
Oh, very interesting conversation. A lot. You know what I noticed though in this space, the passport space. It was one channel I seen. Like I think they were talking about like Sasua, Colombia. I think the guy's name was Ronin too.
Ronin the Wanderer, the Wandering Traveler.
Yeah,
he's based out of DR. He's based out of Dominican Republic.
Yeah. They're cool. They're cool, but I noticed they don't really talk about real issues living in these countries and stuff like that. It's a lot of surface level, and it's not just them. It's a lot of people on YouTube and stuff like that. They don't really drop the real about what it's like to be a person of color. You know what I mean? How the locals accept you, stuff like that. Really, it just seems like a lot of this shit is a cash grab.
Yeah, it's vacation focused. It's vacation focused. It's not cultural focused. And yeah, some guys, like I said, it's some guys they probably spent a lot of time in a country or city, and you ask them a question, bro, and they can't even give you an answer on a question. You'd be like, bro, you've been here all this time, and you don't know like basic level information.
Some people are about the party more so than the experience.
I
don't know how long I could keep that type of lifestyle up, but again, it ain't for everybody. I'm older,
but that's the crazy part, because you see a lot of older guys with immature talking points, not talking points down
so you're gonna make me go there, Tony. Don't make me do that, bro.
No, but
don't make me down these guys, bro.
You're very articulate. You're obviously very educated. You even said that in America they would talk about your diction, right? Your grammar.
Oh, absolutely.
So what I'm saying is I noticed that a lot of these older guys, they're opposite of you. They're like, what I don't, I'm 50. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to look at life experiences too between those guys and me, and what they've gone through in their lifestyle. I've been traveling since I was 3. My mom had a propensity for traveling because she was a foster kid. She was actually stolen from her family, unbeknownst to her. We found out later, but so she had no family identity. So we always traveled. We always experienced other cultures in the Caribbean and so on for years when we were growing up. So I always was bitten by that bug. Then every 2 to 3 years, we'd move across the United States. That's why born in Baltimore, Maryland, lived in upstate New York, Germantown, Kansas, California. I've lived all over the country. I have never felt like I had one place that I'd have to say home because there's a whole bunch of family around me. I was basically like a gypsy.
Yeah.
So when you have that kind of freedom and you don't necessarily get territorial. Let's put it that way. Some people get territorial.
Imagine if you had your level of intellect and you were in your 20s in current day Black America. It would be worse than it was before, because education isn't something that is smiled upon. It's frowned upon.
Yeah, you're talking to the wrong guy. I was an architectural major.
No, I'm saying, like, they'll be like book reading ass nigga.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I had that too. Like I said, I was accepted my senior year in high school to a school that only had accepted 150 students a year enter their master's program for architectural. So my senior year, I already had my college acceptance letter before I started my senior year in college.
But it's just like, I'd be like,
so yeah, I was on a whole nother level. But the thing is, and I even went to a redneck school. The school was 750 kids, and I would dare say there might have been 20 people of any ethnicity besides for white in that whole school.
But I just think it's crazy nobody has caught on to the fact that America is trying to keep Blacks uneducated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Keep them dumb and dumber. They'll keep them dumb and dumber, and they'll put people that are not necessarily the brightest as leaders within the community versus the ones that are excel. And that's the same thing with rooms like this with people that are highly intelligent. They don't get the clicks and views as the drama rooms, like I say, the Jerry Springer, Maury Povich rooms.
If you're a Black person in America, and if you don't basically speak in clicks and grunts, you're excommunicated. You're ostracized.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know if they teach basic skills. I went to a high school. Like, I know how to type. I know how to use the homegrown keys. Like, I could type without looking at the keyboard. Right. I don't even know if that skill is even. I mean, it might not be necessary, but
I actually learned on a typewriter before there was a keyboard. I did ASCII programming in high school, bro. Ones and zeros. That's what our computer level class was, and it was still floppy disk. So my shit is way back when. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea what the hell y'all doing nowadays.
Did you ever see carrier pigeons or anything like that?
Oh, you funny now. Now I will say we still play with we did the old science experiment with the cups and the goddamn string. We did that shit. There wasn't no TVs in the room. Everybody just had a radio in your room. There was no cell phones. There was no phones or TVs in everybody's room like it is so convenient now. All that shit. Nah, you had a radio. You were lucky to have a radio.
So I got a question, Ro. So what direction are you going to try to push your channel in when you get to the Philippines? Are you going to be doing lifestyle?
It's going to be more lifestyle, and kind of like I was telling everybody in any panel I've been on is like, we as older travelers should be transitioning out of the mainstream of the travel space and encouraging the younger ones to come up through it and teach them how to properly move through the planet as the new examples, because you get so much pushback being older. Oh, gee, you're a hater, da 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 da. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, fine. You let the younger ones start bringing them up. The ones that want to listen, they'll find my page or No Excuses page or your page, and we're all going to be building homes overseas and different things like that on proper ways of moving around the planet and progressing through life. There should be stages in life. I call them lifetime, or you can live a lifetime. Your high school years is a lifetime. Once you get into, your earning stage or college stage, that's a lifetime. You should be transitioning through lifetimes, building up your resources and everything else. So as you go through your lifestyles of transitions from being a young man to being an older man, having your assets and resources built up to where you're actually traveling, now you're trying to get closer to retirement. So you should be seeing in my channel the progression of what you should be doing in the later years of your early retirement, because I ain't got damn that old, 57, but I ain't that damn old. I'm still semi-retired. If I find an angle of making money, that's an income stream. I'll never turn that down. I'll never be fully 100% retired. But that's what you should see on my channel. The progression of where you should be when you get to my age.
Okay, that's gonna be fire. And I think too, so I think it's a misunderstanding between the older and younger generations, right? Me, for example, right, as a veteran, right, I always looked up to the older veterans to get game. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I made the decision to leave the federal government, it was an OG. Dude was retired, military. He's about to retire from the federal government, and I was telling him, like, yeah, man, I'm 100%. I kind of hate working. So he's like, why are you working? I was like, cause I want to make my mom proud. He was like, Negro, your mom? What? Exactly. And I thought about it, and I was like, you're right. Fuck this, I'm out. And I quit the next week.
Right. Exactly. So, you live for you. You don't live for anybody but you and your family, whatever that's going to be. You know what I mean? And your standard of living should be to your standard of living, not to what society dictates as success. Because if you look around the world, success means a whole bunch of different things. There's some countries where you can make $500 to $1,000 a month, and they feel like they're successful, but they're living through their family. They see how their family is flourishing. They have everything their family needs, and they're all a self-contained unit within that culture. It's America's society that dictates, oh, this is your idea of success. Jay-Z said it best: more money, more problems. And that's exactly what it is.
And I think also too, like if you were like a pimp, you know, Don Juan type dude, even though you're older, you
Mhm.
would still get views from the people that could more relate to that.
Exactly. I mean, that's why you had Charleston Whites and all these other guys that are out there. They came out the streets or came out the hood or maybe even did some time in jail. They're getting more respect than somebody that actually did it honestly, never did anything wrong, and it actually kept the standard in life of the way he carried himself. You know, they don't look highly on those things.
No, and I think that's the difference. So that's why if you were perpetuating more of a stereotypical type image, you would get more. Even No Excuse. No Excuses.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most well-known. He definitely is one of the most well-known travelers or well-traveled people on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? 4 times in Africa in 1 year. That's insane. But they don't give him his respect. It's like, damn, man. All the cities in Colombia. You know what I'm saying? People get. The only reason people go into South Africa is because of No Excuse. They don't give him his respect for that, man. Durban, that was him.
Right. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. Like I said, a lot of people like, why you jump on so many pounds? Because sometimes you gotta go in dark places and shine a light and pull out the people that want to be attracted to the light.
Oh yeah. But there's certain dark places you don't want to go.
Even if you do go, I mean, whether you pull somebody out or not, it doesn't matter. You attempt it.
You go to one of those streams where they're talking about prison life and stuff like that. They don't want to hear about man, you can invest in these stocks and do this and
no, they want the hustle game.
Yeah,
they want to know how they can flip 5 racks into this in 24 hours, and it ain't gonna be an honest way of doing
it. Yeah.
No, that's a real shit, man. Real shit.
Unless you got the inside track on a quick trade. You know what I'm saying? Like they did with what was that stock? The GameStop stock.
Oh yeah.
Everybody stacked up their cash real quick and did a buyout on GameStop stock, and they knew that they were going to flip it and then drop it real quick.
Yeah, that's why I wonder if Chinese people, they YouTube, I wonder do they be talking about education and stuff, or do they be focused on entertainment? You know.
Nah, they're educational. Chinese, a lot of these other cultures, they're not really so entertainment focused. I would even say America just pushes the entertainment stuff on blacks so hard, like it's crazy. Like nobody does anything to fight back against it. They don't want to put the FBI.
We play along with it too. That's where our society wants to play in, is the internet. That's our space. That's our niche. When it comes to black people, we're good at what? Basketball. We're good at sports. We're good at entertainment. We're good at this. We good at, anything physical. Of course, we're physical specimens. We have the most purest genes of the world. They utilize black organs more than they'll utilize any other organs in the planet, because our genetic makeup it dictates that we are stronger than most. That's why they fear us. On average, the European dress standard was to hold us back because we're naturally bigger people. Our bone density is heavier. They don't want to talk about those facts, though. They want to make them disadvantages instead of advantages.
And they also, like I was saying too, things that are informative or educational are considered lame. You know what I'm saying? Like someone go to your, like that interview you did with that guy that was S8 in prison.
Oh yeah. Vernon. We're gonna have him come up pretty soon. We're doing we're trying to break down this 4-hour video we did with him and actually make it entertaining. So between me and Fearless, we are chopping up a 4-hour interview. I took 2.5, he took 1.5 hours, and we're chopping it up to kind of tell his story for his book. But yeah, that brother, he was raised to be in the military. He came from a really good family. They were both middle-class people. They had corporate or middle-class jobs where they had pensions and everything else. And they raised him to be a military-minded guy, but they never taught him how to be a leader. They taught him how to follow. And all he wanted was a brotherhood. So he kept on following with the wrong people. to wound up getting him put in jail. Nice guy.
The culture kind of forces you to do that. Like, for example, when I was 19 joining the military, and you know, I used to be around the hood and shit like that. So like they would be like, man, I can't have no niggas screaming in my face. Fuck out of here. Same dudes fucked up. You know, so like still rapping at 35. Like,
yeah. That wannabe rapper, he's 35, still wearing his Timbs and everything. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Come on, bro.
Like, I don't regret my decision at all.
Right.
But yeah, they try to make you feel bad for joining you. Oh, you gonna go take the white man's money? What do you mean? You work at fucking McDonald's.
Any place you work, you taking the white man's money unless you work for yourself. I mean, come on. Yes, you're trading time for a salary, and yes. But the thing is, and what I tell a lot of people is, take the time, the salary, learn how their infrastructure, learn how their processes are, learn all those things, the intricate things of business, and then go start your own company. I took the best practices of 3 different Fortune 100 companies I worked at in an executive level, went to a Black-owned, he was actually a Ugandan in America, and he had a medical supply and pharmaceutical company. I took my experience from major corporations, went into a small guy's company, and applied everything I learned, best practices from those companies. Within a year, I had him at 15 million in sales.
Damn, that's crazy.
You should have been a partner, man.
He didn't want to make me a partner. That's what the stingy part of dealing with brothers get to. I went in with a contract. He didn't hire me at will. I went in with a contract and a mission. If I got to a certain level, I was supposed to get promoted to VP. I got us to that level. We were redoing the contracts to become a VP. He didn't want to pay me. So I grew a baby for somebody else, and I said I would never do that again. If I'm going to grow anything, it'll be for myself.
I was thinking about it, and I think the reason why America doesn't want blacks to focus on education and stuff is because they know eventually blacks will take over.
Of course.
Take power. So it's better to keep us subjugated through entertainment. You know what I'm saying? People try to live through people like Lil Durk and King Von. Instead of just seeing it as entertainment, they try to replicate it.
Yeah. Keep us down. I mean, that's the formula to control anything. I mean, to be honest with you, to control a woman, you know, you keep her uneducated, the less pushback, you know, the less this and that. So
exactly, an uneducated woman ain't gonna challenge you on your decisions. She know you're.
Wait a minute. Are you saying uneducated woman? So that's what you guys are looking for, is an uneducated woman that's not going to do anything but stay in the house and birth babies?
Yes.
That's all you want? No, man, I need a little more than that.
Because
I need to be able to have a conversation. I need to be able to take my lady in the middle of a room. It don't matter what kind of room, and she can have an intellectual conversation with the other men in the room or the other women in the room while I'm handling business.
I don't want nobody talking to my girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like talking to my girl. What the fuck you need to talk to her for? Talk to me. I'm the sword and shield. She just nurtures my children. And a big reason,
if you ever knew a shark, a lady shark in the sales business, I've seen plenty women work a room with no other objective but to open a man's mind to your suggestion as a man. She would prep him, you go close him.
The reason why I would also say I would want a woman that's not as educated as myself or more educated is because I've seen in America what happens, especially in Black America. You know, a lot of Black families, you know, a lot of Black kids got moms that were nurses or doctors, lawyers, this, that, and the third, and they didn't really have time to properly love their kids. They provided monetarily, but they didn't give emotional support and shit like that. That's what kids need. Yeah, so
that's a good point, bro.
Actually, that's going to be an interesting topic for us to talk about on Thursday night. We're doing that on Thursday night for a Thursday night therapy session for our panel. Is that exact topic?
You know what I'm thinking? You bringing that up, Ty, it got me thinking like, you know, over the past year and a half, man, like, there's been like some personal things, you know, I had a death in the family and, you know, all the other stuff, man. And I found myself being so consumed with life that I didn't have time to like mourn, like, you know, my great uncle passed. He was like the oldest in the family. Like I didn't even have time to like mourn like a death because I'm got so much things going on. Like, I didn't have that time to have that emotional, you know,
Release
experience to release to myself, you know.
Yeah, military
And
guys deal with it all the
passed,
time. We call it compartmentalizing. Military teaches you to compartmentalize your feelings so that you can continue to get your mission done. The whole thing is you never unpack all that compartmentalizing of emotions and feelings until you get out. But it's not until you get out, it's until you get done dealing with everybody else. Because once you get out, your mission becomes your family, your wife, your kids, whatever objectives you want. It's only when you get to that point, you get older, the empty nest syndrome starts to settle in, the house is built, you kind of run out of ideas. You're kind of like, what the fuck? You start doing a little self-reflection, all those compartments open up at once.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. But that also is what prevents a lot of veterans from re-entering the workforce.
Yep.
All the shit they held in while they're in the military is like you go to work a dumbass job and they're tripping on you and you were essential personnel before. You're like, dude, this is filing paperwork before I save lives. Why are you tripping?
Save lives, commanded men, billions of dollars worth of fucking gear you were entrusted in. You go and get this basic menial ass job out in the rest of the world just to say that you're being purposeful. It's like you're going 1,000 miles a minute when you serve. When you come back here, the brakes get shoved on. It's not that fast paced. Regular civilian life is nowhere close to the pace that you play with in the military and things you do.
I agree, man. But no, back to what we were saying before. I think though, we should talk about more like how, because everybody's talking about getting traditional wives and stuff like that, or wives, whatever, from whatever country, right? Whatever country you want. But how do you want to raise
how
your
do you
kid?
obtain that? Right. What do you get there from? What are the morals and ethics you're trying to instill in your children because of that traditional wife?
Exactly. Do you want a wife that's more concerned about making dollars or loving your children? Because they can't do both. Those super women don't exist where they're, you know what I'm saying? Like working.
Yeah, there's a trade-off somewhere.
Exactly.
And that means you're paying somebody else to help raise your kids so she can go be the best she could be.
Exactly. And then I noticed even in Africa and just around the world, when you're paying people to raise your kids, they're not going to love your kids like you. Your kid's crying too much, they might kick them in the back or something, slap them in the face. Or, you know what I mean? Put them in the closet.
I mean, yeah, that's why they have baby cams and child cams, because, you know, that have been happening. You know, your kids being traumatized by a stranger you're paying to watch them.
Okay, for example, even today, right? In my wife's family compound, the little 2-year-old escaped and was lost for a few hours today because the nannies that are hired to watch the kids was on TikTok and shit like that. They weren't taking their job seriously because they don't care about your kids. So that's why I prefer like, nah, I rather the mom eyes on all times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right,
I agree.
I mean,
both of my wives were stay-at-home moms. I didn't want them to work.
Yeah.
Because even with that, they get frustrated. They bark on the kid. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen it. I've experienced it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, certain moms that are making those 100, 200,000 a year. That's all they care about is money. They're not worried about your. Yeah, were you picked on today, honey? Oh, let me give you a hug. You know what I mean? No, they don't care.
There wasn't no more nurturing. Just toughen up. That's what you're trying to do in the real world. Like I said, there's a lot of female sharks out there, man. I'm telling you, in the sales arena, man, they thick.
Yeah,
beautiful too. Beautiful women, but they're sharks.
Yeah, I just work 12 hours on my feet. I don't care about them making fun of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, but chicks work too hard to get that that anger and masculinity in them.
Yeah, they got to play in a man's world. They ain't built for that.
Yeah, I'm like Tony. I want a housewife, man.
So you want the old Eddie Murphy Goonie Google chick with a bone in her nose and an afro.
No, I just want her to just. I'm not forcing a woman to do anything. I want a woman that says, "I want to be a housewife."
Exactly.
You know?
I want to be a mother. That's what I prefer in a woman. I want to be a mother. Not I want to have a bunch of money. I want to have children and love them. That's sexy to me.
Yeah. I mean, if she got education and skills that can help me with what I'm trying to do. I mean, because a secretary, a woman that has organizational skills, knows how to call people and articulate certain things that need to be done. Right. Organize my bills in an Excel spreadsheet so I can see if I try to have my.
That's what I mean about having a woman that can articulate what you do in a business. She's working for you. She ain't working for nobody else. She's working to close and further your business because she knows your shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by her working a room. She disarms them, you close them. But it's to both of y'all's benefit.
She can always take breaks. It's not a must for her to engage.
Exactly. Any woman you have, she should be able to work for you. She shouldn't be working for another man.
Man, let me finish. Let me say this real quick. I gave this woman, I gave this woman a simple task. I said, hey, I'm gonna give you the logins for all my utilities. Each month, put in Excel like the bill, whoever I'm paying the bill to, and the amount, so I can see if my bills are the same each month, and if something is out of, that's not normal, you can catch it and say, hey, this bill was unusually high. Then I could investigate, because I don't have time to be seeing if I'm being overcharged. I just got bills on auto pay, and unfortunately, this she couldn't do that simple task, but expected me to still, pay this and pay that, pay that. So, you definitely want. Well, I definitely want someone that can, assist in those type of things.
Yes. Assist you in your daily life and certain things within your business aspects.
But if you get a girl that's 21, 22, you have to be patient. You have to be an educator. People don't get things the first, second, third, fourth time sometimes. You have to be able to patiently keep, giving her over and over.
Right.
Because she is. Yeah. Everyone has different learning capacity, different ways of learning, visual, audio. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to, and that's what Africa has taught me, to be more patient with women. They're so much more feminine. Because I notice when girls are masculine and they're coming at you, raising their voice and shit, you're gonna return in kind a lot of times. But if they're soft spoken and they're making mistakes and stuff like that, it's easier to okay, let me help you out, baby. Here we go. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. And I actually been stepping into my role as an educator, because I got my wife when she was 22. So that's helping me for when my son starts growing up, I can teach.
See that goes into another topic that I'm going to do with Andre from Love Across the Borders, is that it's, even in my marriage, like I realize that, or other people's situation, is that a lot of times it's not about the woman or it's not about the man, it's about the personality type. So like if Tony is, if he has a good way of educating women, that's a good asset. You know, he's patient. Um, he's patient and he's a good instructor. And like somebody like Andre, like I mentioned a lot of times, like he's not, you know, he's not as demanding. You know, he kind of sits back and let his woman does his thing, and you know, he doesn't feel the need to be as controlling and stuff like that. You know, he can handle a woman with more of a masculine personality. But my personality type is like that. You know, I'll probably have impatience like instructing a woman doing certain things. You know, so I might want a woman that's more quick-witted when it comes to certain things, even if she's not educated. Um, my personality type is not good with a masculine type of woman. So personality types matter, and I think that we need to look at that more as men because you know a woman might not, a man could get divorced by a woman or vice versa, but that doesn't mean that Tony or Ronan or somebody else wouldn't have a successful relationship with that woman or man. And so, you know, personality types, you know, we kind of have to look at a little, we kind of have to start looking at a little bit more because as we, you know, promote travel and talk about dating relationships, we got to be quicker to identify like, no excuse. These women in this culture or this region, with your personality type, you know what I mean, it might not work or maybe these type of women would work with your personality type. So I just wanted to just kind of elaborate on that.
No,
Book
but
travel in the building.
I
Hey
Go ahead,
agree.
man,
Don.
salute to the panel. Salute to Roland.
What's
No
going on, bud?
excuse and traveling, Tony. Yeah, I 100% agree, man. The chick got
Hold
to
on one
bring
buck. Hold on
something
one
other
buck.
to the
Hold,
table than just
hold on one
being,
buck.
something to smash on. So it's got to bring something else.
Can
You
Buck
feel
hear
me?
when people be on? But hold
I don't
on,
know.
hold on one
Sometimes he
second,
gets on a
Buck.
rant.
Because I was about to say that. I was about to piggyback on that issue. Because a lot of guys, man, they just
What?
go to these countries and they're looking
Buck,
for beauty
Buck, Buck,
kings.
Buck, 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 Buck. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. I want. I want. Let Tony. Tony was in the middle of saying something, so I don't want him to forget his
Oh, my,
thought
my
that he
bad.
said.
My bad, Tony. Go ahead, man. I wasn't here.
Oh no, it's all good, bro. I forgot. You could just it'll come back.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Blue as hell.
I really
Matter of
forgot.
fact, you made me, no excuse made me forget my point. No, so.
No, but okay. What I was gonna say is patience is something that can be learned. Well, we come from an impatient society. I was very impatient too. You know what I'm saying? Even when my family came out here, they couldn't deal with the slowness. And Africans talk about this as well. People from the West, even Caribbeans, are not tolerable of the slowness. You know what I'm saying? It's different. We're used to just being fast paced, fast paced, fast paced. And Africa, I would say their organizational structure is ass. I mean, things aren't really organized. You know what I mean? The way they do things, it's an adjustment period. So yeah, man, I do believe patience can be learned if you are willing to learn it and you take the time to. And also, patience gives you a sense of peace, sense of relief when you get more patient, man. You don't feel the anxiety and stress of things going wrong or not your way. You know what I'm saying? For me,
Facts.
Hmm. Can low IQ
hey,
bras be
salute
trained
H.
up? Or
HB said he's gonna be out here in February, so I think he's gonna be out here the same time as you.
yeah, I gotta get. I'm supposed to see HB in SA, man. I'm gonna see what his date is. Dan put out a question: can low IQ bras be trained up, or are they just gonna be a hindrance in the long run, man? I'm gonna say hindrance for me, but it may vary amongst men. Salute to obstacles, to opportunities.
Salute, bro.
Shout outs to you guys. I just wanted to come up here, so I ain't gonna jump in though. Shout outs to
Yeah,
everybody
you
on the
need to
panel.
jump in here, brother. Come on. We
Well, y'all
bringing
was
it up.
talking
We
about it.
talking about it.
Well, y'all was talking about a lot. So what do y'all want to continue to talk about?
I mean, whatever you want to chime in on. We talking about. We jump from expectations of what's going to go on in 2025 to beauty standards, whether it's a beauty or preference thing, and then we got into relationships when it came to women, and if you'd rather have a bright, intelligent woman on your arm or somebody that's a little dumbed down.
Okay,
just
got
to, put out some babies.
Yeah. Oh,
That's a good one.
I'd say if I could comment on to it, I'll probably say it definitely depends on what the man wants. And of course, guys, you got to remember a woman has agency, so it depends on what she wants also. But for the man's perspective, it's like, what type of man are you? And then you have to ask yourself a question. Am I okay with just being in the middle? Am I okay with being a lower class? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Just people play certain roles in life. And do I want to be a high earner, high value, and all this other stuff? And if those are, what you're desiring or looking for, then you're going to have to look for a woman that complements that lifestyle, right? So if you want someone who's like, I need somebody who's ambitious, that's probably not a guy who's going to be, a blue collar individual. You won't want to pair with that woman. Her life, she sees her life to be different, whether it materializes or not. You get me? Whether she ends up being on that private jet and flying and taking staycations every time, it's irrelevant. That would be a problem for you, just being somebody who's saying, look, I want to be in middle America. I'm okay with an average life. So I think that most of the problems come in our mating and our dating. And it's like, treat it like a business, quick to fire, slow to hire. You have to take your time and really be ready to fire people early, fast, and quick, but slow to hire them. And you have to really get to know an individual. But I understand men also balance that out with scarcity. And so you kind of make concessions due to your scarcity on things you possibly already know.
Mm-hmm.
And your mama and your family would probably tell you shouldn't make a compromise on. Scarcity and time.
Facts.
Go get something to drink real quick.
Yeah. I just want to say, piggyback on what I was saying earlier. I mean, I feel like I'd rather deal
here,
with
Buck, can I add one more thing real quick? I forgot this one
Go ahead,
too.
bro. You got the floor.
I would like to materialize that into a method, because I might say that and dudes be like, what that mean, right? Now, I could call myself a quote unquote conservative, but I wouldn't. But let's just say I'm pretty straightforward in my delivery and the way I see things. Like, if life throws you this, you deal with it. I don't want to hear no crying, right? So net, I wouldn't be more so like a liberal on some things. So what I would put, and I love capitalism. So when I was dating or I would be in the market, I would put, I love capitalism. I'm a patriot. I love America. And the girls who possibly didn't like those narratives would filter themselves away from me. They would read in my bio and say, oh, man, this guy's a capitalist. I hate capitalism. I think socialism. They would run for the hills, right? And then that also helps in our relationship, because those girls are not bad people. They're just not a good partner for me, because we wouldn't see eye to eye on possibly other things in life. And so I think it's just more filters that make sense you need to place into your dating in order to, again, filter out those individuals. Some people know I can't go work for SpaceX. It's not a work-life balance type of culture. And then they just don't go over there. And the same thing goes for just relationships too. So go ahead, Buck. I just had to add that.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say like if I'm getting a long-term girl overseas or wife, she got to bring something to the table than just having a box. So she got to be productive. She got to help me out with the business, or if I'm building a property out there, she got to help out with that process. So she can't just be out there, just not doing anything, but providing me the box. So she got to bring something else to the table. Like, for example, I got to give credit to Andre Love Crossing Borders. His wife helped him out with everything. He doesn't speak Spanish, so she helps him get better deals and all that. Sometimes he gets gringo priced, but she's able to get that local Colombian price for him because he's a Colombian. So that's the kind of expectations I would expect from my future partner overseas. So what I'm trying to say is, like, I rather she got to bring something to the table than just being having the box.
For
What
sure.
about what about raising your kids and cooking, cleaning, and
Yeah. That includes it. That includes it. I'm
they
just saying,
can't?
it's like she can't just be some kind of sex doll where she's just good for one thing. She got to do many different things. Where I'm out there providing for her. I'm out there providing for her, and she got to do these other things for me.
So
Wow.
have you
No,
ever tried it? I'm sorry.
oh, you got it, bro.
Darnell,
Oh,
go ahead. Darnell, what you got to say about the topic?
Hold on, salute. Let Ronnie shout
Jay-
out the super chat.
Yeah, salute J Moss for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you for joining the panel. We always appreciate super chat. So everybody in the other rooms, please contribute to these streamers. They work hard to do what they do, and a little support goes a long way. We appreciate it either way. And if you can't do a super chat, just hit the like button. Either way, we appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, your Cash App's not up, no excuse.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, like, she got
Darnell,
to
you would have
raise
been.
Go ahead, Darnell.
No, I agree with a lot of what Buck has said. That woman has to bring more, than just box to the table. Like, gotta have a good, support role. Like if I'm going to be the provider kind of thing, okay, how do you support me as the provider? You know what I mean? When I come home, is dinner going to be, is dinner going to be hot, ready on the table before I go to work? Are you going to make sure? What's that?
No, go ahead. I'm looking for the hot and ready thing. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. As far as am I going to work on an empty stomach? You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to go to work on an empty stomach, because if I'm going to be a provider, you should do the best you can to help me come in and
why am I
and
hearing
be that
games in the background talking about bellies full, balls empty? Why am I getting that feel from you?
I mean, it's just one of those things, I mean, I guess you could say I don't really ask for much, you know what I'm saying? Just, hey, are you a good support character? Like, I mean, us military guys, for example, I wasn't a grunt, but, the logistics people were, in my opinion, the most important people in the military, and I don't say that because I was part of the Army's logistics corps. I say that because the truth is you can't fight a war without bullets, with classes 1, 3, and 5, food, fuel, and ammo. You're not going to do very well in a war without those three things. And I kind of feel when it comes to a woman,
beans, bullets, and band-aids, but yeah, you're right.
yeah. When it comes to, a woman, if she can kind of be like that logistics coordinator, make sure, hey, I got food in my stomach, my clothes are clean. If I got to sit up here and wash my own clothes and, iron my own clothes and all this other stuff. Again, I'm not looking for, I'm not saying, oh, well, you're looking for a servant. No, I'm just looking for a partner, a life, a partner that will help, help me build.
Okay. And any pushback?
No, not really. I think. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, I'm interested to see his journey, man.
I think-
Are you on the precipice of a relationship, Darnell, or something? With
Darnell's about to do the whole. Go ahead, Darnell. Tell him your story.
Darnell's like, you better have my plate hot and ready when I get in the crib.
He gonna have two of them fixing. They're gonna be fighting over who's fixing the plate.
Wait,
I mean, so yeah, I'll just be honest with you. I mean, I've been out of a relationship for years. I was engaged years ago, and I just kind of came to the conclusion. I'm like, why just stick with one woman? You know what I'm saying? If I'm this kind of, depending on my, on my status, because like I'll be honest with you, back in the day, I was King Simp back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got MVP MVS most valuable simp like 10 years running, you know, and it's like I
Is that
just
back in
kind
the
of
day or concurrently right now?
that's back in the day. I mean, do I still do some simping stuff? Yes. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. There's a woman here. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I mean, granted, she's already shot me down, so but I ain't gonna lie, man. I would mess up the program for her. You know, she's that bad, man. I had to shoot my shot. Hey, she said no. I respect her for that. You know,
What you mean by mess up your program? I just want to know what you mean by that.
well, you know, somebody, as Ronan has said, basically, you know what I'm saying? I plan on having basically 2 wives, you know, kind of the Middle Eastern thing, you know. I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie. It's one of those things. If I mean, granted, you got to make sure you can take care, you know, of all your wives. That's the whole rule in the Middle East. But I just like the Middle Eastern mentality when it comes to marriage. You know, have as many wives as you can take care of.
No, that's cool. But I thought you said you were willing to mess up your program because she was that
Oh yeah.
bad. So what does that mean?
I mean, you know, it's just okay. My program is okay. I'm going to do the Middle Eastern thing, but I was all, you know, with this one woman. I ain't going to lie to you. You know, she's just the perfect type. You know, she's just the perfect type. You know, so I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna, you know, be monogamous for her, but again, she shot me down. So that's neither here nor there.
It sounds like you're pedestalizing her. What makes her so perfect?
Mm-hmm.
That's again, when you asked me earlier about am I still simping, or I think Ronan asked me if I was still simping. I ain't gonna lie. Yes, I do have some simp mentality. You know, this one woman in particular, I got that simp mentality for. But you know what I'm saying? I'm glad she said no.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying now. Now the interesting part is you take that circumstance and take it off of Darnell and just probably disperse that and project it on the rest of society. And I think a lot of people fall in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
Just extrapolate it from him. You ain't got to even be personal. I think a lot of other guys are like that too. In the negotiation with a partner, they actually take the terms of the other person. The other person actually ends up, especially a lot of men, because they don't even think they got any value at the end of the day. So when they get in, when they have that discussion about the table, where the girls say, I am the table, they're mostly saying it from the construct that they always win at the negotiation table. That's why they believe they are the table. It's kind of like, what's his name? Harvey from Suits, when he was like, I'm the closer. I am the deal. You know, they send me in and nobody wins. Harvey Spencer always wins. And the same thing is women almost get into negotiations, especially in the dating market, and landslide a lot of guys into positions where they're like, I'm finna have 2 wives. That's how I am. But she's so bad that now they say, okay, I'll do monogamy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Darnell,
Yeah, I'm listening.
have you ever lived with a woman before?
No, not really. I mean, I did stay with my ex in Brazil for a time, but I wouldn't say we lived together.
How long?
It wasn't long. That's why I say we didn't live together. I think it was like a month. I was with her for, you know, I stayed at her house for about a month.
Okay, because I've lived with women all over the globe, America, strippers, all types of women, right? And before you say you want to get 2 wives, I would say live with the woman for like a year or 2, or because women are annoying. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try you at some point. It's uniform.
Not only
That
are
part
they annoying, but 2 women in the same house can be annoying.
Oh,
To
and
each
yeah.
other and you.
Let me ask this question real quick. KW says, Darnell, do you know that you have to convert to Islam to be able to marry Muslim women?
Well, to marry a Muslim woman, actually, you don't have to, but, you know, You don't have to convert to Islam to marry a Muslim woman.
Yeah, if you want to practice polygamy, you know, because you're pretty much holding her to her Quran values, you know,
What now?
it's gonna be hard to hold. I'm saying if you want to practice polygamy, you're trying to hold a Muslim woman to her Quran values, and I don't know how easy it would be to hold her to the values of the Quran if you're not, you know, part of that faith.
When it comes
But in a lot
to,
of societies, they look.
go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say real quick. In a lot of Muslim societies, they look at that you take on the religion of your husband if he's not Muslim.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I don't like to do is force, my religious beliefs on, on anyone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to make a long story short, I know Tony was. To make a long story short, like if you want to practice polygamy in its true sense, as an American, it's very difficult because to marry somebody legally and polygamous, you gotta be a citizen of that country.
Yep. Let me get a pack of Camel Crack menthol and $35 on pump 3.
Damn, we're just
Yeah,
gonna give out
7-Eleven.
orders over the
Well,
line.
Yeah,
you were
right.
gonna say something, Tony?
Give me a pack of Black Woods and a Coca-Cola and some Skittles and $8.88.
Yeah, give me a couple of them Black and Mild. Slide those over here too. I got a dime bag sitting in the car. You know what I'm saying?
Give me that
And a
Coke
hard
45
con.
while you're at it.
Right.
I was gonna say guys want to start sprinting, but I think you should start crawling first, or you get these delusions of grandeur about what's gonna actually.
Facts.
So because there's the realism, and then there's this YouTube bullshit what people be selling. You gotta see.
Dealing with the psychology of two women is not easy,
Exactly.
and getting them to agree is not easy as well. You know what I mean? So that's a challenge in itself. And if you've never dealt with a woman for a long period of time, and I'm talking over a period of years, to figure out how she changes over a period of time, because women start off one way and they finish up another. They're gonna change just like you change.
Hormonal imbalance, pregnancy.
Go ahead, obstacles. I hear sarcasm coming. I hear it. Come on.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It could be a roller coaster, and it takes some experience. But I would say for the most part, making the best of you is always the answer. And I mean all areas of human activity. Me and my friend talk about this often offline. He was saying, like, most guys are inferior to their women when it comes to communication.
Facts.
Being able to articulate themselves. And also they bought into narratives about like EQ, emotional intelligence, that doesn't benefit their position as a man. And so net, my women can never out-communicate me. It's the other way around. You guys are in relationships where you're like, man, I ain't going to say that because I'm going to hear it for 5 hours and she's going to nag me to that. She's in a superior position. That's why. But for me, a shorty's with me and she's like, I wanted to, never mind, babe. I'm like, what's up? She knows it's about to turn into a conversation for about 2 hours because of the way I'm able to articulate myself. Yeah. Exactly. But so in that construct, she's like, okay, never mind. I know if it's important, I'll talk to you another time. It's not that important. So I don't get the lot of BS that other guys do when you don't have that type of stronghold. I talk to guys all the time. They can't express themselves. They don't know how to actually run a sentence without a you know what I'm saying? So it's something that we need to figure out, especially when you're having an interaction where you're quote unquote logical. Just learn how to talk to humans across the board, man and women, right? And that's one thing that KS was able to do, right? And then most of the time, I think this is the best example because everybody knows this video. He said, what would you rate yourself? And then the girl said, oh, a 5 at best or something like that, right? But Kevin Samuels was never stupid enough to say that himself. He let her say it because he understood the context of the culture, and then, of course, how people would interpret it. So he was a master of having those conversations. He was a master at not saying, hey, you're mad, you're sad. Because if he knew he did that, then he'll have to go on a goddamn chase about whether I'm not mad, I'm not sad. And then now we're not even talking about the main point, but whether you're mad or sad. So he had his communication and it was very superior. And so again, you guys have to build that type of intelligence up in order to be able to have these relationships that just pan out better. Because once you get that in order, then at the end of the day, people will adjust to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of complexities that goes on too, because I've been with enough women to know if she's not able to express herself, she's gonna build up so much resentment to a point where it's gonna be a point of no return. You know, and so while a woman may be like, I want to say something, and she may be apprehensive because of how you're gonna respond. In some instances, it backfires over time because women need to express themselves, especially if they don't have other women around to express themselves too. You know, I think it's better for women if they got outlets, whether it's their mother, sister, or other female to express themselves to. But if all she has is you in a particular time and she can't express herself, you know, I mean, I think it can be problematic if it builds up over time.
Yeah, but if I heard him right, I think he said she would defer the conversation until they got back home, but there still would be a conversation. She just didn't.
It depends on the woman though. Like some women may have that approach, some women may just feel like they
exactly. And I think at that point, those women are not the particular ones of my demographic, and that's okay. Again, I think it's all about the firing and hiring, and that's where people get slaughtered. Because all my relationships have been great. I have nothing negative to say about my exes. But the most part, people say, oh, well, you all had no, I didn't always have perfect relations. The thing is, the girls that were probably bad and would have been bad, I just never pursued a long-term relationship with them. So we never engaged in it. We never got to that phase of, you know what I'm saying? Now you're in a relationship, y'all are dealing with each other one-on-one, and then now you're dealing with these problems. No, all the girls, they cooked for me because they loved it. They were excited. I never tried to convert a girl who was like, oh yeah, I could cook. I could. No, a girl I only took to make my girl who was like, I love it. I love the smile on your face when you go in and you have my meals. I love to make you happy. It was like not only a duty, it was an art and a passion. You know, like those are the people that I made my girlfriends. I dealt with girls who were like, why can't we just order something? I was like, okay, I ordered something. She never became my girlfriend though. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm not about to convince you of nothing. I accept you for who you are. And if I want to move in that direction, which I did not, right? Then I knew that wasn't good for my game plan. Because I'll be working 14 hours. And then I have a chick who's like, here's your notes. She'll put notes on the meals, stickers, hide stuff into it, send care packages. Like those were the people who got promoted to relationship. The other ones, no, it was just like, nah, we're not going to work out. I'm not even going to hit on you for long because that will build up relationships, emotions, and etc. So it's just like, keep that brief. I'm looking for the other one. And I think that's a better game plan. You don't have to convince nobody or nothing. You'll know the girl. Because the girls that do cook, what do? Going to Instagram, they making flicks and showing people like, this is what I'm cooking for my man. And so those are the people that you want to look for to follow in that program. If you want that. There's some guys who don't want that. He's like, yeah, let's order. That sounds great.
The problem with dating and westernization, and to your point, obstacles like, you know, men that are not married and let's say don't have a child with a particular woman, you do have the leverage. So you do see, and I don't know who background that is. You do see in
Tony, you're getting feedback. Thank you.
I do see in non-marital situations, men, you know, we will, like you said, if we see something we don't like, we'll cut it off, we'll break up. We'll break up the most in non-marital situations, but once it becomes a marital situation, women do more of the breaking up than guys do. So You know what I mean? So, it's hard for a man that wants marriage because women have the propensity to end relationships and marital situations where the man has more a propensity to end a relationship in a non-marital situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would agree. Maybe. Oh, go ahead, Tony. You got it.
No, I was just gonna say I think also we should specify dating in non-Western societies is going to be different just because of the dynamics between women and men. They don't have the 50-50 culture. Women aren't empowered like that. So whatever works in America doesn't really work in the East. You know what I'm saying? Because America is
Well,
socially.
let's not say the East because we got to be very cautious. Because if you say the East, I could deal with China, which is the largest population in the world, and you will get landslided. You think American women are a blessing in comparison to the Chinese women. You don't want no smoke with her.
I'm talking about East Africa. That's where.
All right, there we go. There we go. All right, yeah. Now if you go down to Africa, yeah, it gets a little bit better. But and see, that's why I say guys just need to be knowledgeable about that. And if you're knowledgeable about different marketplaces, then you're gonna have those advantages, right? Like me, I'm not much of, let's say, a gambler or a W-2 individual. I go to a different marketplace, which is probably an investor, or I go to real estate. I go to the market that serves me the best. It's not about me conquering the market that is not in my favor. That sounds crazy, right? And I think what the best thing is to do is to use the amazing West, the amazing American system to build myself up economically speaking, and then outsource that type of lifestyle where when I go to a different marketplace, let's say in Africa, I'm the top, 0.1% in Africa. And then that increases my chances, that increases my potentials and my options. And then plus the culture is different, right? And that's okay too, right? Because that culture is different because it's at a different development phase. It's not about East and West, who's eating Chinaman rice and who's eating brisket. It's not about none of that. It's all about development. Because you could see East countries will turn close to Western once they start getting developed because people have more options. So they don't stick to those old orders and the way things were done so we could survive and thrive. And so people get more independent out of development. And so again, you got to watch for that. Go where you're treated the best, especially if you're talking about this relationship and dating thing. I go back to America. I don't even talk to a soul. Not because there's not possible potential, but it doesn't even make any sense. So net, it does make sense to get my bag and appreciate America for that, because without that money, I would be a Kenyan struggling just like a regular Kenyan's going to struggle to court a woman if he don't have the economics.
Hey, salute to the Vietnam veterans that made it possible for me to live this life, man.
Hey.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think. Oh, go ahead, Ron.
No, go ahead.
Well, I forgot what I was gonna say real quick, man. But yeah, calm down. Go ahead, man. It'll come back to my mind. It'll come back to me.
But weren't y'all talking about Africa before? No?
No. He was talking about
AfroSundays.
Yeah, we talked. We was talking about. I was more focused on Ethiopia and Eritrea because that's kind of like some of the focus countries on this channel. But damn, I was gonna say something about African women. I can't remember what I was gonna say, man.
They're amazing.
Yeah, but every country, man. Every country is different. Like, I think that if you want to deal with a woman in the West, and this is what I've been realizing just being a passport bro, is that dating all these women that don't have money, I started to realize that a lot of times you might not get that genuine, they don't really genuinely love you, versus a woman that don't need you for your, she doesn't need you financially, and so you get more genuine interaction. So if I met a woman in the United States and she liked me, it's in a lot of ways it's more genuine, because if she has everything that she needs, she's liking me because of my charisma, whether she's physically attracted to me, or whatever other attribute it is besides finances. You know what I mean? So it is a positive in a lot of ways. Being with or getting to know a woman from the West. So a lot of these countries, man, it's just which poison. I think I forgot who said this on a different platform, but you got to pick your poison with a lot of things. And I spoke to Brother Andre about this before. It's like your leadership style could be one of a president of the United States, or your leadership style could be one of like the president of China or Russia. I don't think one is more right than the other. You know what I mean? My personality style, the way I want to run my relationship, it might be more along with how China runs this country, or how I don't want to say North Korea. They're probably a little bit too extreme, but I may want to be more of a dictator type role, and so my options worldwide with women are limited because it's less and less women now that want to conform or be with a man that's a little bit that is demanding in their nature. So it took me a while to realize that my options are limited because of my personality, and I'm not willing to change at this point in my life. Like, I'm not willing to change for that. Some men have more options because they are more patient with women. They don't get bothered by certain things. They don't trip about certain things. They more fall back. So some men have more options with women. So I think, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of men have to learn and understand what their personality type is, and then figure out where your type is in abundance. I focused a lot on Latin America. I married a Colombian woman, and I avoided Africa, and I thought that Latin America was the end all be all, because I didn't think it could be no other women, that could be better, because I've traveled to Asia, Latin America, North America, except Africa. And, that situation didn't work out. And then I discover Africa and say, okay, wow, there are women that are a little bit more subservient, submissive, feminine, and things of that nature. So, who got that background? All in all, I guess the challenging part is, and you guys can kind of give your 2 cents about this as well. The challenging part is that I had to travel, like I had to travel to almost every continent to kind of find like what my type is. And every guy can't travel to every state, every city, every country, every continent. And they may have to work into the confines of their state, their city. So what can we say to them if their personality type doesn't fit with women in their immediate environment? All y'all muted.
If you're talking about dating in westernized society, I haven't had a problem dating in United States. I'm just choosing to date overseas recently or just now. But I've dated women all throughout the United States the majority of the time. I've been able to find the type of woman that I seek here in the United States without an issue. But I carry myself and have certain standards that I look for within that woman before I would decide to make her my girlfriend or my wife or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's not hard to do it here in the United States if you find the right type of woman. And I wanted to kind of bring up something you said earlier. You said something about a westernized woman, you would want her to have money, but wouldn't that be the issue, that most westernized women have the mentality that now, because of hypergamy, even if they have money, they would want you to have 2 to 3 times more than them. They would always want you to be up on anything that they produce. So wouldn't you have a challenge with dating somebody with money in America as far as a female if that's what she wants, because you're still propagating the 6 foot, 6 figure, all that too.
Yeah, but I usually see that with women, you know, unfortunately highly attractive, you know. Eights and above, I'll probably run into that too. But
just as a high figure man, we demand a certain type of woman and we can command that. That's our option. A woman of beauty, that's her option too. The biggest thing is our options don't go away easy. Their option goes away with time. So they're in a race to beat time while we're gaining more resources, more assets, to where we're even more valuable over time, where they're less valuable.
I seen a clip of International Passport. He interviewed a woman, and she said she was from Philadelphia, and she said she wants a man to make $250,000 a year, and I'm like, I live in Philadelphia too, and I'm just like, it went from 6 figures. She wanted a man to make $250,000, and she was attractive, but that's the thing. She was attractive, so women of a certain attractiveness level believe that can pull that. And somebody said this on YouTube. They said women that are eights. The scholar says that women are eights and above. They are monetized in some way.
Yeah, that's facts.
If they're on
what?
IG,
what did he say?
I agree with that.
Yeah,
he said they're monetized.
They're monetized on their social media,
because the baddest chicks I ever saw in the States,
TikTok,
they're with the lawyers, they're with the CEOs, they're with the executives, they're with the NBA players, NFL
they
players.
got OnlyFans, they're Shein models or something like that. All these IG chicks, they messing around and being sought after every athlete or popular person dropping in their DMs.
And which is mostly married men too.
Yeah. And basically at that point, they're shopping for blue check marks. If you ain't got a blue check mark, you don't rate to talk to her.
All right.
And that's because they control the market in America. Women.
What'd you say?
I was saying women control the dating market in America.
Yeah, but most men allow them to. It's a two-way relationship. Most men just really are starving and thirsty for it.
Yeah.
But that's why they have the upper hand. But you're stronger. You have the economy. It makes no sense outside of social communication. Probably women are more superior in socially because even though you are stronger, you have the most muscles, like somehow they got you to think that they're the prize and you get on your knees to marry them and take bills of them. It's almost crazy. I think a friend just recently was saying something, and guys, again, when you hear a lot of people make those claims like 200,000, what you're really hearing is just financially illiterate people just talk. Okay? Because even a wealthy woman, which I'm usually date, which is usually a politician's daughter, et cetera, right? A lawyer herself and stuff like that, they speak vastly different, all right? Because they have some financial education around it. And so what they're looking for is really just different things. They don't usually just say something like 250K, right? Wait, hold on. What's that? RT.
It's a lady, man.
What's that? What was that, RT?
Yeah, that's my chick. Hold on. I'm gonna go dark for a second, but I'll be right here.
All right. He going dark. He going dark. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was saying, like I was saying,
Everybody
like
said I had an AI girlfriend. Everybody said I had an AI
Yeah.
girlfriend. So
I was about to say that's AI.
Every time she calls, I gotta throw her up on the screen so y'all know she ain't AI. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a call in AI. Go ahead.
But the 8, 9, and 10s in the States, man. I'm telling you guys, man. I've seen the lawyer I was dealing with a few years ago. He's like in his 50s, right? Bro, I was in his office and there was a picture of him and his
Anyone else?
and the chick looked like she was in her 20s, and I knew she was in his daughter.
No, I can hear
because
you.
the way they were kind of close. Me? The way they were kind of close, and I was like, these chicks are literally messing with like I said, the executives, lawyers.
But you said she was at 9 and 10 or something.
I'm not talking about your everyday average chick. I'm talking about the 8s, 9s, and 10s are like The
Yeah, but
average
why does
man is
that
not
matter?
the average man is not gonna get those in the States. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
why
just
does
say
that
that the
even
average
matter?
man is
Y'all
not gonna,
not.
because there's a very high competition for them.
Yeah, but it don't matter. I mean, 8s, 9s, and 10s are hard in any marketplace, hands down. To say that 8s, 9s, and 10s aren't hard in a place like, again, I go to China. You're crazy. Chinese girls will eat you up alive. If they're 8, 9s, and 10, they're not only talking about how much figures you need to make, they're talking about your net worth. What most of you guys don't even talk about, and American girls don't even have it in their like language. They don't even know nothing about no net worth. But Chinese girls that are 8, 9s, and 10s, they're gonna be like, bro, you gotta have a house that's free and clear, no loan. Like they specifically know you can't even get financing from the bank. It needs to be paid off. Like, so again, Nate, 8s, 9s, and 10s, they're always just gonna be demand in the marketplace for that. So average regular men or even men just doing a little bit well for themselves, don't mind yourself and worry about that because that has nothing to do with you. Like, I don't care,
Yeah, that's why
especially if it's
I
like, if a chick won $1 million a year to be with her, I'm not mad at her. That just ain't my chick. Like, I'm good. Now, there's some guy out there in the marketplace that possibly values her beauty that high and is willing to exchange that. That's not me. That's just like real estate. I go to a property and I'm like, yo, it makes this much money. I'm willing to pay 500,000. They're like, no, I want 800,000. Best of luck. Hope you find the actual buyer, but it's just not me. I'm not mad at the guy for trying to sell his property because he believes I can Airbnb and make more money. I'm not with that. Okay, cool. It's not the investment for me. And the same thing goes for a woman that's in the marketplace saying, you need to pay my lifestyle like this. No, I don't. But the next guy, he will agree. He'll say, that's nothing. Okay. And then he pays it. I'm just
the cheat code is you have your average girlfriend, and I pay for play the 8s, 9s, and 10s. So I'm gonna get the best of both worlds, one way or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could do that too, right? That's a strategy in itself right there. Never try to keep them, right? But the regular girls, they're good.
You know?
And there's a bunch of regular girls. That's why I said, yeah, we talk about the 8s and 9s and 10s around on the internet, but it's like, bro, everybody's like, what, 80% of people are fat over there? 70% is fat and overweight. So most people are not 8, 9s, and 10s, and most people are in some relationships. So most people are just dealing with average people. You're just on the internet getting killed by the algorithm right now. And you think all people are like that. It's like negative.
See. The thing, as No Excuse was saying earlier, a chick who's a 8, 9, to 10. I mean, I don't have a problem if she says, "Hey, I'm entitled to a guy who makes at least 250K a year," and it's like I don't have a problem. But when you see an average chick that says that, I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here, bro. Because like it just doesn't make sense because you're average. The a high figure guy, a high net worth guy is not gonna mess with you. He's probably messing with those models, you know?
Well, he's going to mess with the models and the average girl. Like he could do
No,
whatever he
he's gonna
wants.
mess with the average as a side chick, but the main chick is
No,
gonna be the model chick.
nah, I think like even for wealthy guys and guys that are well off, most of the chicks ain't no drop dead tens and nines. They exist like what 10%, but most 6-figure earners, 90% at least, when you talk about black males too, they just marry black women for the most part, and 80% of them are fat and overweight. So again, it's regular people. I just deal with regular people. Now the top guy, he'll probably have the regular chick as his actual chick, and as No Excuse just said, he'll partake in the 9s and 10s on the marketplace, right? Like he got the girls as mistress, side pieces, but his wife is just a regular girl.
Exactly. In societies, those girls don't even get married. The 8s, 9s, and 10s, they're just recreational use.
Yeah. And a lot of
Times on a
Brazilian and
discount,
Colombian
man.
dudes do that shit. A lot of Colombian men and Brazilian men do that shit. They'll have, like I just said, they'll have regular Colombian chick or Brazilian chick, but then they will go to the brothels and mess with the 8s and 9s and 10s.
Yeah, there you
We
go.
do it. Some of us do it in like cars. Like, I go somewhere. Let's say I can't afford a G wagon, but I can afford to rent one for a few days. You know, same thing with
Yeah, I hear
these
that.
chicks.
And then also too, I think another thing that guys got to look at. I did a stream called "I'm a Gold Digger," and basically what I was saying when I was like, pursuing my goals, or even before that when I achieved them, it's like, guys, you've been tricked. Like protection and provision. Well, provision is for both people. Protection, okay, you could say that's for men, and historically it has been. But provision is a thing that we both do. All people in the world all work. You come over here to Thailand, Asia, everybody's working because everybody's trying to survive. Nobody's at home with the kids. Nobody's sitting with their feet up while the kids are off at school, living a good life paid for. You've been tricked like that in the West, but most, especially America, but most people in the world don't live lives like that. Everybody's working, B. Even in the Middle East, the Muslim girls is out there working in some tourism, and then their husbands out there on the oil fields and the rigs and the factories. Like, because everybody's trying to survive. Provision has always been the responsibilities of both people. Hunter-gatherers. Remember, men hunt mammals and etc. Women gather fruits and vegetables. That is provision. Both parties were a part of provision. Just in the West, as I told you, since your women are superior to y'all in social communication, they got you believing that you're supposed to do the provision all by yourself. That's false. That makes no sense. Women always had to put the babies on their back like they do in Africa, wrap them bad boys up, and go out into the marketplace and sell the fish that came from the fishermen. They had to go and look for berries, go look for the water, go look for the fruits, while the men chase down the gazelles. So again, it's always been responsibilities of both of us. Remember, we're supposed to be a teamwork. So you just got to remember that. So when you're dealing with somebody who's telling you go out and provide and protect, you're already getting in a negotiation that doesn't favor you. So no wonder why you end up salty, angry, and disgruntled when one party feels like X, Y, and Z. So you just got to remember that. Now, any woman that's telling you that, you possibly don't want to get in a long-term relationship. My chicks never seen that. They were like, oh, yes, it makes sense. We both work. My mom took care of my dad and did the household, but she worked too. She didn't never work. So now you know you're dealing with somebody like, okay, they get it. We're a team. But if somebody's like, hey, no excuse, you go out there and chase the bag, I'm at the house. And then you look at the hours like, well, the kid's at school for 8 hours. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, the kid's gone, you at the house, I'm paying for everything. It makes no sense. So again, that's just a bad deal that you're negotiating. You need to look for just regular people that's willing to do the work with you. And then things change also, men. Realize that, as No Excuse said, it's usually men, once they're in a relationship marriage-wise, they don't want to leave. Well, you got to remember, the other party might want to leave. And that happens. People change.
But I would say though,
people who change.
especially in like Asia and Africa, if you got your girl working too hard and you like a broke dude or whatever, she probably gonna step out on you. Probably gonna step just from being on the inside of these places so long. Like, you know, when you with females and you get the tea, you know what I'm saying, about what the other girls are doing. Especially when you know what I mean, when you live with a woman, you understand what these women are doing. And you're like, oh, that's a sneaky bitch. Like, yeah, okay, that's crazy. Oh, told the husband she was going to get fruits, but she went to go get money, get clapped out by some dude. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, traveling,
now-
Tony, you saw any like difference? Like, I know you've been married for a couple of years now. Is it consistent? Because a lot of guys here in the States, they complain about their women changing, you know, because they always say, man, the honeymoon phase, she's an angel. Then the later part of the marriage, she's kind of the devil. I mean, do you notice any difference with your girl or anything like that? If you may, like, answer.
Women get like that when you make them work too hard. Then they'll start challenging you and talking shit and have attitudes when they get home from work. Like, I just did 12 hours. You know what I mean? Like, they'll kind of, you know what I mean? It's just human. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. You know what I mean? Like, my mom was ER nurse, then went to a doctor, and then other kids I know, like, it's just normal, especially you talking about the Black community in the West, right? Where women do work a lot. You know what I'm saying? They lose respect for you. And they tell you that here too, especially like when you go to like the marriage ceremony and stuff like that. Because remember, this is old school type stuff. So they always say, yeah, your wife could work and stuff like that, but always make sure you work harder. You make way more money, because she will lose respect for you.
Damn her respect. She can go then. Because at the end of the day, I ain't paying for it neither. But I get what the actual notion is, and it increases the chances of conflict for sure, because, you know, humans are going to get more emotional if they're taking on more responsibilities. But if you don't have the EQ to deal with it, then you must leave. You're not going to disrespect
Obstacles, I got
me.
a question for you. Quick question.
Go ahead.
Who's that on the background you have? Is that Alex Karp? The
Who?
picture?
No, that's Elon Musk.
No, the guy below him.
Elon Musk again.
That's Elon Musk? I thought
Yeah.
that was Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir.
No. Palantir. No. One's Elon Musk. He just like this in his book by Walter, and then the other one's just a
Oh,
portrait
okay,
that my
gotcha.
Ling
Go
gave
ahead.
to me.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead. Carry on. I was about to ask you something about the other dude, but go ahead.
Ah, okay. Yo, shout
Yeah.
out to the other dude. But again, goddamn, I forgot what I was talking about. Nah, but again,
Yeah, I think as far as women changing, like I have noticed that, and I've historically dated younger women, is that you're gonna see the biggest change. You're gonna see the biggest change if she's like, let's say from her like 21 to 25, 25 to 30. The older the older she gets, the less change the less drastic change you're gonna see over time. So that's why I changed, even though I'm older now, you know what I mean? Like I won't, even if I could pull a young 22-year-old, like I won't go under like 20, 28 for me. You know, I won't go over 28 because if I get something younger, she's gonna her difference of change is gonna be very big versus me dating somebody like, you know, starting at 30, you know. So
But
it is risky dating these young women. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
No, I was gonna say, I think something else that's not really talked about is when you're in a relationship, you're dealing with another human being. So there is going to be some concessions that have to be made on your end. Like, so let's say my situation, I could say it's 80% my favor, 20% her favor. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to give some leeway dealing with the human. Yeah, I mean, people talk like women are just robots. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna just snap to and stuff like that. And I think when you hold those sentiments, it makes it hard to actually sustain a relationship for a long period of time.
And one thing I wanted to say, and you were spot on with that, Tony. One thing I wanted to say too that most people never talk about is especially men, you always talk about leadership, but y'all just ignore that the responsibility of followership is just as important. It's a two-way street. And so men often, they have these conversations. Oh, you're the problem. You're the leader. If she does this, then you're the problem. No, she has agency. Everybody has agency. You could be the best leader you want to be. If a follower doesn't want to follow you because they have their own agency, then that's what happens, right? Like they have free will to decide to follow you or don't. Only way they don't is in the military, right? In the military, you don't because you go to the brig. And guess what? People are in the brig for disobeying orders and not wanting to follow, right? So again, that's the only construct. But outside in the regular human world where people interact, people cannot do what they want. And also in jobs, what do? You fire people. In a football team or a sports team, what do? You cut people. You remember the Titans? They had that white boy that was working, and then his best friend had to come to Coach Boom and be like, sometimes you got to let a man go. So no matter the leadership of Coach Boom being able to integrate the black and the white players together, there was one player who just didn't want to follow the program. Did that make Coach Boom a bad leader? No. Some people just don't want to be on that program and won't follow according because they don't agree. So they had to cut him. So again, we always talk about leadership, men, you're leading. I'm like, bro, also followership is important. And you have to look in those people that you're looking to follow and see if they have those characteristics that complement your particular leadership. And as much, even if you do, they could say they agree when they make the team. And then after season 5, they be like, man, bump Tony, man. I really ain't I ain't on what he on no more. And then you sitting there like, what? What happened? We agreed to a 10-year contract. Well, guess what? I'm ripping them up. And that's why they have clauses, and that's why they have divorces, you get me? That's why even there's a thing called prenup. So all these things, understand what humans are going to do. They're going to get in a contract that they said between God and the higher upper spirit, right? Forever, death do us part. They're going to say, I do, in front of their whole family, the whole congregation. They're going to pay for the wedding that costs $10,000 and still say, death do us part. And then 3 years later, they're going to be like, you know what? Never mind. And none of them are dying, but they're going to destroy that contract. So again, the society already shows you that just come to terms with that, guys, that you're dealing with a human and things can change.
Facts. I agree with
and
you.
another thing is like a lot of people don't take this into account, but pregnancy takes a lot of toll on a woman's body. Most guys don't understand this. It's like, man, that shit takes a lot of toll on our. That's like it takes a lot of stress, hormones kind of change. You know, you're gonna see like this girl who is happy, energetic, going from that to being depressed. You know, angry. You know, mood change. You be like, what the heck? This is a completely different person. Most guys don't understand this because we're thinking from a different viewpoint. You know.
Yeah,
Well,
baby
because we don't
mama.
in America, we see them as men. We don't understand their plights because they're not submissive.
Exactly. We don't see a lot of men, they complain about, oh, females don't understand what we go through as a man. But how about let's experience what they go through over women. They go through a lot. You know, they go through like a whole hormonal shift and all that.
Yeah.
The female body still.
Yeah,
But I
but
think
that's
I
why
think our society.
why,
I think. Okay. Go ahead, no excuse. You got it.
oh, real quick. I don't know, Alfred, have you ever read the book or heard the book, The Manipulated Man?
Yeah, I was just about to. Yeah, Esther Villar. Yo, that's what I said. Some people. Woo! No excuse out here. Yeah, no excuse. 10 layers deep. That's 10 layers deep, man. That's not. People don't be talking about that on streams. They got talking points, not Esther Villard. Go ahead, you got it. No excuse.
Now with The Manipulated Man, and I'm taking snippets from that, but basically, when men aren't supposed to, or historically wasn't required to understand a woman. That's why women pair bond with women, and men pair bond with other men. You know, socially. I'll talk about this at the beginning of the stream. So I don't need to innate my nature as a man. I don't need to understand what a woman goes through having a body. That's what her mothers, the women, they supposed to have empathy and sympathy and understanding of what she goes through, because I'm not wired to do that emotionally. I'm not wired to understand that. I'm wired to, like a lion, like a lion. I'm wired to hunt, do this and do that. And so in modern society, men are struggling and women are not struggling. We're struggling trying to do something that is not natural for us, understanding the nature of a man. Even Kevin Samuels said, you don't need to understand a woman because she doesn't understand everything about herself. You just need to understand the nature of a woman, the tendencies of a woman. But you can't, women don't understand each other fully, so men definitely won't be. So, and some women might say that's machoism or things of that nature, but I don't need to, like I said, from a a natural aspect. I don't need to understand certain aspects of a woman, but I understand socially. And if you want to have sex or if you want to have uh, a certain type of relationship, you do have to understand a woman from a social lens, but from a anthropological, if that's a word, lens, you don't have to understand a woman on that level.
And also, you can understand, but you don't got to capitulate. And so, I always say, especially with women, what they're with me, I force EQ. Like, you won't be around me if you don't have EQ. I don't give you an excuse saying you're a woman and I know your emotions go wild. No, that's not an excuse. I'm a man. I don't punch other men in the face because I got testosterone. I was forced to grow up as a young boy. No matter if I wanted to go play instead of sitting there in Indian style, that joints was hurting my knees, right? Sit there Indian style and read this when my adrenaline and my testicular fortitude is pumping through my body as a young male. I was like told to sit down, shut up, and read. And so net, we have to fight against chemical imbalances that we have as men. And we learned that early on. But men have a weakness. You keep allowing women to have the excuse that, oh, it's my emotions. Oh, it's the chemicals. It's the menstrual period. No, we all have chemicals, men and women, and we deal with them accordingly because we live in a civilized society. So you just got to realize that and not allow someone to do that, because if you allow that out, they will exploit that out. They will utilize tears. They will utilize that, which you think is their weakness, and you're giving them that out. They'll leverage it. Just like girls laugh about when they cry in front of a cop to get out of a ticket, right? Now you try to cry in front of a cop as a man, he gonna look at you like, maybe we need to get you medical help real quick.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Something might be wrong with this boy. they might pull out the taser on you real quick, like, hold on, this dude crying, what's going on?
Yeah, this motherfucker's off his meds, man. He needs some help.
You back from going radio silence?
Yeah, man. I'm 14 hours. You 14 hours ahead of us. You already know.
Yeah, I'm in the future.
Daytime for y'all, so she calling during her time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just happen to be.
Where
on
you
the
gonna
line, that's all.
Facts. What are you gonna say, Tony?
No, I was gonna say one thing that we're leaving out, and salute to all the brothers on the panel, all these educated brothers, man. Great points. I appreciate all you guys, man. The hard work you put in. It's evident in your speech. So salute to you guys, man. But I was gonna say one thing that we leave out, and I've learned this because I've been in a lot of long-term relationships or whatever, lived with women for years and years and years. But there's the one thing that I learned recently about attitudes, and this is what I said, where you got to make a concession is, let's say postpartum, right? The girl just got an epidural in her spine. She just got her belly sliced open. She's lactating. The nerves are going crazy when the baby's suckling her. It hurts. You know what I'm saying? These are things that we don't even consider, but you do. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a human pain. Yeah, I mean, like, so people in pain aren't going to be the most like nice or whatever. I don't know if you guys ever had surgery or anything, or ever been down or whatever from an accident or whatever, but you could be attitudey and stuff like that. For them, it's even worse because their whole body just changed. Now they're producing milk. They just, I mean. So yeah, man.
But I do think for the most part, our society acknowledges that. Hence why women can take massive amounts of vacation time off. And again, that's not what all companies, so people understand that that's something that they need to fight for in the society, is to give them more time off to recoup. Even if a man wild out on his pregnant wife, that's why women say a lot of times, she's pregnant. Like, you can't yell at a pregnant woman. You see what I'm saying? And even to that point, they're basically pushing postpartum out. Like, I'm talking 3 years after the baby's born. So net, it's kind of already acknowledging a society for the most part, right? And so, I mean, come on. I mean, the reason that they have lower infant mortality is because men took up the cause of reducing it. So again, we really acknowledge it and we see it because we acknowledge everything. We acknowledge the stars. You know what I'm saying? Like, we create most of everything that's actually happening in society. So that's not the problem. For the most part, I think the problem is you continue to capitulate. And so the other side understands that 150%. That's why the manipulated man was trying to give you men information and saying, you've been tricked. You've been duped. The people that you think is sweet spice and everything nice also seek power, also seek position. Just because they don't have muscles doesn't make them inferior to you. Black people had all the muscles, but white people still ran over them like they were nothing because they had power, they had intelligence, and they were out-clevered. So again, it doesn't matter if you got muscles and you hit the gym and you work for Apple. If I could get the man and capture your heart and control you socially, I win. I hold the superior power. So again, that's something you have to realize and not see him as an enemy, but understand it could be exploited against you in a relationship, not because the other person's bad. It's because the other person, like all things, are self-interest. Women have never been conditioned to die and protect for you. You have. So out of that relationship and that imbalance, you are the one that's serving her, not the other way around. And just know it.
Man,
And then you'll be able to negotiate.
Man, fellas, man, read. If you're, I don't like to read, but I listen to Manipulated Man on. It's on audio, so you can. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I was about to say it's on audio. It's on audio too.
Yeah, listen to the Manipulated. It's deep. It's deep, but it is a very good breakdown on a lot of things. So, you know,
man, they hated that woman when she dropped that book. They was coming after that girl when she dropped that book. Like, them girls was coming at her. Like, you done messed up the sisterhood. They was shooting at her. They was giving her something fierce, man. Just like Shazara Ali.
Oh, wow. You know, I want to say this real quick too. Like, what everybody is saying is like, this is why it's important. Because I used to be a young man when I had relationships. I didn't want my girl to like be around other women, or I tried to keep her, I don't want to say away from her family, but I was just like one of them real dudes that was just like, you know, try to control her to the extent of who she communicated with. But fellas, women need that outlet. You know, women need to let it out to other women. You know, I mean, it has to be some balance, you know, because I have been in situations where a woman, she wants to be around women so much, you damn near like, you damn near want to ask if she gay. She want to be around women so much. But yeah, women need to be able to talk to their, you know, other females, because us as men naturally, you know, I mean, we're not going to be always the best out for them. I used to wonder why, like, every woman I know, they talk to their mom every day, and I may talk to my mom.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk to my mom all the goddamn time. You know what I mean? I'd be like, I talked to you yesterday. Why you calling today?
Yeah.
But women, they talk to their mama every day.
Every damn day.
Every day.
So,
hey, Mom, I just went to the bathroom.
I had a $4,000 phone bill from Hawaii back in the 80s because my wife at the time could not stand being away from her mother in California. She ran up a $4,000 phone bill, making phone calls to Hawaiian Bell. I sent her ass home. You hear me? Her and the kids.
Women are a reflection of the mother, but usually if the mother's a whore, the daughter's a whore. That's usually how it goes.
Man, who is this backstage saying Diddy with his Johnson? I need to see it. I need you to cam up or something, man. Somebody got Diddy with a baby oil.
What he was really trying to articulate is that, and this is one thing that I think is one of the success of my relationships, is I always told my girls, I'm not your best friend. I'm not your big homie. You're not my double. Oh, here we go. Allegedly.
Is that's gotta be goddamn Darnell sitting over there with that shit. Who is that? That looks like Darnell thing.
Take that.
Yeah, that's Darnell. I knew it.
I thought I told you that we won't stop.
Darnell got him a little blow up down, man. He about to go to work.
Nah, brother. This is for the Brazilian girls. I told you I got the oil. I'm ready, baby. I'm ready.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to keep up with them Brazilian girls, them gangbang type women.
Hey, we'll see. It's not the first L I took.
Hey, Brazil humbled me, bro. I was like, I ain't even.
Man, put the video up because that means that sounds like you might be a little suspect of this.
Nigga, you gay.
Somebody was cooking, man. Who was talking, man? I don't know. Somebody got interrupted, man.
Oh yeah.
Diddy
No,
in the
when you was
building.
talking
HB
about,
going global.
yeah, right. No, when you were talking
appreciate
about
the $5 super chat, bro. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, shut up. No. I was saying shout out to HB for sure. Now I was saying when you were talking about women coupling with other women, and this is something I experienced when I was in Brazil for the most part. When I had my first Brazilian girl that was a lawyer, she was always around us, and it was my American friends. They were like, "Man, why she ain't talking? Why ain't she shooting this with us? I like a girl that, like, you know what I'm saying." And then remember when we got back, she was like, she was telling my friend, she told me, she was like, in Brazil, we're taught that the girls associate with girls, and men, when they're talking, men speak with men.
Exactly.
Now, when I saw my girl go to like an all-girl thing that was hosted by the embassy, she was cracking jokes, laughing, and it was so bad. The American girl was like, "Do you oppress her? She never talks when I see her with you." And I'm like, bro, she believes in a whole different type of order the way life goes. And so again, I always made sure she had maybe 60-40, 60% with me, 40% time with her mom, her girls. And that was a great balance to have. But y'all ninjas be trying to do every single thing, 150% with your women. And it's like she needs that girl. And it's sad for you because you have an all-time low of platonic relationships as men. You guys don't even got any male friends anymore. So that's why when you leave your relationships, y'all end up deleting yourself, eating guns, and doing all sorts of stuff because you ain't got no friends. She goes back and she still have a social connection. She got a family. She got her girlfriends. So she's completely fine. So he was just emphasizing the importance of having that type of balance because then a lot of stuff that you don't like to hear as a male, you possibly won't even hear it because she's going to share it with her female friends. And when she deals with you, it's a whole and different type of relationship. And I think that's a good balance because that's how it's always been in the tribe. Take the men, put them over here. Take the women, put them over here. They still get married, but we have to separate this bad boy up.
I got pushback on that though, because
Go ahead.
In non-feminist societies, yes, they still deal with the women.
Non-feminist. Okay.
But the mother is the most important. And let's say, for example, right, you have a mother that been married to the same guy. Your father is high earning, whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop. She's submissive to him, whoop-de-whoop. She's gonna emulate that, right? And then even when your relationship's rocky, she's gonna call her mom. And what advice is the mom gonna give her? Stick that shit out. Apologize to him. Make him happy. You know what I'm saying? That's from not. That's
yeah, but that's a small group. I gotta give you guys some hot ether. Okay, this is what you don't know. Most of the women that convince women to go out here and pursue education and degrees and do everything was the household mothers. The mothers have told the daughters, "I love your father, but girl, go out there and get your own. I love your daddy, but girl, go out here." Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing because I'm not that type of dude. The society ends because girls getting educated. But what I'm saying is the reason why relationships are at 7 priority for younger females is because their mother has told them, the stay-at-home wife has told them, "I've done it, but I want you to do different. At least do this. At least have your life. At least have your expenses." They'll even tell their daughter, "Look, I ain't gonna tell your daddy this, but I never been with a black man. So girl, before you get married, go out there and live your life a little bit, daughter."
Just making your whole life toxic. You gotta deal with all that shit to fix
Eurocentric. You're talking about Eurocentric.
fucking all that shit.
No, man, I'm telling you, it's a small group of housewives that actually say,
women were like, "Oh, I didn't feel oppressed, but I still think if I had done this and this,
yeah, exactly,
I would probably be a better, more round person."
Exactly.
But they would have most likely not married their daddy. They most likely would have never had the daughter they're sitting there advice and all that shit too.
And they would have been out homeless.
Up the whole fucking program, right? Now they're teaching their daughter how to be fucked up as an individual, toxic, because all the bodies she's going to have before she actually gets with the right kind of man, and how not to stay in a fucking relationship faithful. So they're teaching them all the wrong things after they did everything right to get the one man that they got.
Exactly.
I like that.
I'm gonna be
They do
objective
witchcraft.
because
they do witchcraft.
Who said that? I want to be objective while we're on this topic because women. So you ever see comments where people say, well, men will say, back in the day, women, they didn't break up families, blah blah blah, and women will say, well, they only stayed because they didn't have no options or whatever the case may be. And for a while, I was like on the men's side saying, no, we need to get back to how things was back in the day where women stuck around. But as I hear more, stories and just kind of see the patterns of modern women are no different than women from the 40s, 50s, 40s, and 30s. They just have opportunities. And I do agree with women that our grandmothers, our great grandmothers stayed in those situations because they didn't have those opportunities. I do believe that if they had an escape, they would have escaped, because we're seeing it today. There's no other explanation that you see rising divorce rates in Africa, rising divorce rates in countries that historically have been, patriarchal and where men have the upper hand. The rise of divorce rates worldwide is showing you that women, when those societal pressures get eliminated, as far as when they're not pressured from society to stay in marriages, when they have more financial opportunities, women by nature have the propensity to leave situations where they're not happy. So I do not believe that I do believe it's a facade that back in the day women stuck around because of some moral some moral standard. They stood around because they have no choice. This is why, if we want those type of relationships, but it's gonna have to be a woman that chooses to be that way, not because she's forced by some situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
and just like, go ahead.
Sorry.
RT.
Can we not just say moral obligation? How about society as a whole makes it easier now than ever before for a woman not to want to have a man? We have established enough comforts for a woman not to want to have a man. They still have police, they still have fire, they still have handymen that will come to their house and fix the things that they needed to have fixed. So we've enabled these women who think they don't need a man, but yet and still in society uses a man every day indirectly in order to have a safe life, and they don't fucking want to admit it. Let's be real about that.
The manipulated man, how I interpreted the manipulated man, and Obstacle, you can correct me. The women described they didn't need a man either. It was all about procreation.
But yet still society makes it so apparent that they feel like they don't need a man, but behind the scenes, nothing moves without a fucking man doing it.
Yeah, but I think, again, that the problem in that,
it's a false sense of security for the woman to think that she doesn't really need a man, only because society allows them to have that false sense of security.
And again,
she doesn't need that man to be her boyfriend.
Yeah, she don't need the man to be there. But even them, they're like so much propagandized that it's, and again, guys, this even if you go to Japan, like dudes always talk about the shame element. Bro, shame's not gonna help you, because people shame the hell out of people in Japan. Divorces rate extremely low, out of wedlock extremely low. People just refuse to get married, specifically women. They don't want to get married, they don't want to have kids because they're not going to be shamed into doing X, Y, and Z. So again, people have the choice of just not doing it. Now, since you shamed it and you put a high barrier on it, people just refuse to do it. So you can't shame me for being a single mom because I never actually had the baby. You can't shame me for divorce because I'll never go get married. So that's another way around it. Because the society's developed so I could survive, I'd rather do bad by myself. And so again, here we go. Society has created, men, you have created this situation the way it is. You talk around with your head down. You built this world, but you get on your knees and beg another person to marry you. You bow down. You are inferior. And that's why nobody recognizes you building out bridges and you doing all the electrical work, and they ignore you. It is your fault because you're being ignored. You are not taking charge. And if I come up here and talk my smack about being successful and getting stuff done, you'll start to shame me. Oh, you're bragging. Oh, you da. But women all day can brag about their beauty, and you just let them do it as if they did something for it. They put on makeup, and you just give them the free reins to run around here and just throw narcissism all over the place. But
Some
again,
just don't put on makeup. They transform.
Transform.
They put so much goddamn makeup on, okay?
And shout outs to transforming, right? That's like me. That's like me walking around with Monopoly money, claiming I'm rich. So again, at the end of the day, it's you. You have to acknowledge your greatness. You have to start taking back your lines of communication. You have to start not giving them, not because they don't deserve it. If they got it and they deserve the recognition, then cool. But if they didn't, then don't give them that. So again, men are needed, but at the end of the day, men put themselves in a situation to where they're almost not needed.
Shout out real quick to HP Gone Global for the $5 super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, HP Gone Global. And go ahead. Sorry.
But even in the concept, even in the my bad, Tony. Even in the construct of, and I'm still referencing this book, The Manipulated Man. Women, yes, women needed men to, how should I say, for manufacturing, building houses. Women still need men to this day for those things. Most men are policemen, most men are firefighters, most men are, pilots and things like that. So women still do depend on men because we still do the things that's critical to society. That we just haven't put them in a position. We haven't went on strike for women to really realize that men are not needed. We haven't went on strike as policemen or
you ain't got to go on strike because that soon it'll be robots. But what I'm saying is, men need to recognize other men, and then because most men ain't doing that neither. So most men are sitting around packing sand. They're not out here on the goddamn construction site building out infrastructure. So at the part, I think that it's a small few. Well, not small few. It's a good amount. But again, we just have to acknowledge it. But this is the thing I'm telling you. Damn that, because the manipulated man is trying to tell you that you're just being manipulated to do something. I don't care if you think you need me or not. I don't want to be manipulated to be your workhorse or your war horse. So at the end of the day, right, women are now getting their own money. They have opportunities. Nothing is wrong with that. You just deal with it. You're still a man. And if you have that center, you'll be all right. Like me, I can't throw my money around. And if I had, I'm not saying I do, but if I had more money than RT, I can't make him less of a man because I have money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he still has accomplished a lot. He has done a lot. Like, I can't be like, oh, I got more money than you. I'm better. So a woman, just because she's making more money, does that make her better than you? Now, there's some women out here really killing it. So I might have to be like, all right, but I can still beat her up. But at the end of the day,
I got
in a fight. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change the nature, and then that doesn't change the power that I still hold. So I think that's the way we move forward, because the manipulated man, they're just gonna, manipulate you to go do things for them where they can do stuff for themselves. That's okay. We got it. And if you don't want that, then go to a different country, because there's planes, boats, trains, all this cool stuff that's available for you. I think people just need to exchange and find their partner in the marketplace that's willing to do those roles. And then don't worry about the West. Don't worry about places that don't give you the contract.
What
that's
do you
it.
think?
And the West is not bad. They got the girls. It's just not as many. But that's because it's developed. Go ahead, Tony. My bad.
No, I was asking you, what do you think happened in Japan? I lived there for 4 years. I have my opinion. I just want to know what's your opinion of what happened to the Japanese family structure.
Well, I think it's, again, the shame and the culture is still strong around having a family, at least not getting divorced and not having a baby out of wedlock. That's obviously there. But obviously, even the Japanese government and the Japanese people don't know what's going on because they're trying to deal with it, put money into it, incentivize it, trying to figure their way out. So for me to be like, yeah, I live there and I know more than the Japanese don't even have a solution to their own problem. But what I would say is if I look at it and I look at it across the world, it's just development. As people develop, they have more opportunities. So relationships have always looked different from agrarian society to an industrial society, now to an information society, and going into the future of AI and robotics. It's going to look different.
I agree.
Imagine a girl can get a robot for protection now. They use dogs now. But imagine if she can get a robot now. And he could fix things around the house. You think that the relationship and how she sees a relationship with the man will still remain the same as something in the agrarian society? That's a negative. So things change as the things develop.
In Japan,
that's why men say, watch this, if an EMP goes off, what do people usually say? People are going to revert back to old ways very quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about development.
I agree with you. That's why this place is so cool, because it's still analog. So feminism and stuff hasn't taken hold yet. It will in the future as they develop more. But what happened in Japan, what the people theorized was the women are just working too much, so people don't have time to have sex and to procreate. So that's why their population is declining, and there's so many abandoned homes and stuff in Japan. People aren't having babies. They have like the oldest population in the world.
Yeah, Ronan, I feel like we had a topic before about women not needing men. I feel like I feel deja vu right now.
I think we've had several. Yeah, I think we've had several over the years, over the past.
Too much.
Yeah, it's
too much.
Watch this,
so much
watch this too. Skip that. I don't care about women recognizing me. You know who I do want? Men. So I say right here on the channel, as a man who's been overseas and did my thing, no, there's no goddamn pause. See, that's the problem with men. We can't even congratulate ourselves without some goddamn, somebody feeling homo sapien, and I didn't want to say the other word, so I said homo sapien. But that at the end of the day, and it's just how we joke, so it's cool too. But net across the board, bro, shout outs to all the men that do blue collar. Shout outs to everybody who built the nation. Shout outs to our veterans who served to protect our nation. As long as we recognize ourselves, bro, we don't have to look at anything else. And if y'all don't even want to give people recognition, then I tell men, find it in your own self. Don't look to nobody else to give it to you, because they too busy chasing box and girls that got makeup on. They want to recognize their beauty, but don't want to recognize what you're doing. So again, the society has tilted what they recognize as important too in itself. That's why we always used to say, man, we used to respect geniuses. Now we respect nincompoops, right? People are doing the most on TikTok. That's our fault as individual people. So again, in order for men to get those recognitions, we have to put that into power.
Right.
Stop following all these chicks and start following Rolling Travels. Stop following all these chicks and start following Buck. Stop following all these chicks and start following HB Going Global. You start following men and putting them back in a position of popularity and someone you want to subscribe to and support, then your recognition will come from that.
I've been saying that. You can ask no excuse. I was even saying that about going to other and talking to the men, getting information. Don't get information on dating from a woman. Doesn't make sense.
She don't lead you down the wrong road every goddamn time.
Every time.
Loyalty. Just off a girl code.
Let me say this.
They hold closer to the girl code than we hold a bro code.
No, I'm about to say you can listen to them. You can listen to them to learn what not to do. There you go.
Hey, I like this guy.
Let me say something real quick.
Go ahead, no excuse.
Before HB, salute to HB coming up. So we did a stream. I think a coworker, he mentioned that masculinity isn't needed anymore because women don't need men to be masculine anymore because of technology, and all the protections they have and stuff like that. So his argument, so he's a liberal, and I supported Trump. He supported liberal, and he just said and the topic was around masculinity, and I was like, people voted for masculinity, and him being a man, he was like, well, I was surprised. He was like, well, why is masculinity needed now? I was like, fight wars and
Did he
build
really
things
just
now. Yeah, he was like, well, you can just press a button. Now wars are fought proxy with more technology, which is true. So it made me start to think more and more about that. Now,
people really think that war is simple as playing a video game? You just push a button. There's a whole bunch of thought for that simplicity.
Hold on. I
But
don't
go
want to
ahead.
forget what I was going to say. So fast forward the conversation, I was like, okay, if men don't need to be masculine anymore, if women don't need men, where does sex come in? Because men need sex, and and women sex. What's contradictory is that women will say they don't need masculinity, but when it comes to sexual preference, they prefer to have sex with a man that perceives to be masculine. So, it's hypocritical when it comes to that, when it comes to women. And I was like, well, how can a man that's not masculine, how can he get sex when most women want a masculine man? He couldn't answer that. So, to make a long story short, regardless of the direction society is going, where men are not needed, sex is still needed amongst men. This is why, and this was a passport bro conversation. This is why men that do not meet the criteria for Western women, they have to go elsewhere to seek, have to go somewhere to seek sex. So what I'm trying to say is that regardless of what happens or with women in the West, there's always going to be a reaction to an action. So if women don't need men here, cool. This is the beauty of, the passport bro movement, is because men have options to take their talent somewhere else, So I don't concern myself with what women think as far as, needing them, not wanting a man and things of that nature, because the world, in a capitalist world, there's always going to be rich and poor. It'll never be countries all on the same economic plane. So I'm gonna land with that. HB, you could unmute yourself if you want to chime in.
Hey, what's going on? How's everybody on the panel? You know what? I think a lot of this, I think all this stuff, man, is really living online. All this masculinity talk, because I don't think I don't think a lot of passport bros actually do live in the world, man. Like, I don't think dudes just really be out there like that. I think a lot of dudes are incels. You know, even though I don't consider myself a passport bro, because I've been traveling, I've been doing this thing for like 20 plus years. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just a movement that I just been, to be honest, I'm just riding the moment. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I really think, you know what I'm saying, this masculinity thing, you know what I'm saying, women saying they don't need masculinity, that's a goddamn lie, man. I think a lot of this shit online because people want attention. This is the topic that's happening, you know what I'm saying, with a bunch of weirdos online, and people just, people gravitate to that shit, especially, you got the grifters online. They see an opportunity, just like, what's the dude name, man? What's the goof ass dude, man? The tall dude with no fugazi.
Mm-hmm.
He be talking all that shit, but he the biggest simp online, you know what I'm saying? He don't, you know what I'm saying? He got with a white woman that had white kids already. You know what I'm saying? He a black man over there.
With him,
you know what I'm saying? He be talking all that crap, man. Man, these cats, man, it just, man, the shit is just turmoil, man. So I think we need to just stop buying into it, man. Just, stand on your business, you know what I'm saying, as a man. All of us have problems with women, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times they're just the women that we think we should deserve to have that we can't get, and we get frustrated. That's all that shit is. I think you just need to level up, you know what I'm saying? Get your mouthpiece, Chris. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And you won't have all these issues, man. A lot of dudes ain't willing to work on themselves. You know what I'm saying? And for me, man, I'm just riding away, man. And I do appreciate, you know what I'm saying, some of the things y'all guys be saying. Because I like, you know what I'm saying, learning from, you know what I'm saying, other brothers and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, all I got to say, you know what I'm saying. My main focus right now, man, just taking care of my daughter, man, and, you know what I'm saying, trying to make, you know what I'm saying, life better for her. And, you know, and shit, man, so she get of age, man, taking my ass, get the hell out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? My main reason even just traveling is just for research purposes. So I can find another place to live at a lower cost. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to live a upper middle class, not upper middle class, but an upper class lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, on a middle class income. You know what I'm saying? That's my goal. So
makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Make a lot of sense. I'm going back to Texas. Shout outs to Texas.
I'm here right now. What you coming here for? I'm coming.
Gonna relocate down to Brownsville. No,
okay.
I love America.
No.
Unlike
Texas
most
is a great place to be.
I love America.
I'm gonna tell you this. Look. I'm gonna tell you, Texas is great. I'm coming back after I go there. I'm still coming back to Texas.
Hey, you know what?
Advantages here in Texas when you're a disabled veteran at 100%. No state tax. No property
no
tax.
Country got that.
You ain't
love.
got shit to pay down here in Texas.
Hey, you know what, man? Hey, I'm getting old, man. Look, man, I'm getting old. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like just the ratchetness, man. I don't want to be living in the U.S. no more, man. The U.S. cool to get money. No, man, I get tired. I don't like being around Negroes, dog. I like.
You gotta stop being around Negroes then.
Hey, I don't, bro. I have been around Negroes for probably 20 years, bro. Like every time I go back home or go to the hood, I just get tired of looking at motherfuckers just like, hey,
I never
shit,
go
you know
back.
what I'm saying?
Don't go to the hood. Why are you going down there?
Don't stop trying to be
my family is, bro. What are you talking about? How can I not go places with my family is, bro?
Family can move too. Family, you ain't gotta
Family
go back to where they
move,
are. Well, hey,
family
that's
don't
your
wanna move, dog.
situation.
Yeah, I know.
But you said they don't want to move, but they want you to move. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no two-way
They
street.
They could tempt, bro. Look. My mom stopped trying years ago. She kept trying to get me to come back home. I'm like, Mom, I ain't coming back home. I said, you might well get that shit out your head, but I'm gonna leave your house. I said, man, I'm gonna put that shit up for rent. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I'm not coming back home. That shit done. That shit, man. Listen, every time I go back home, the dude's doing the same thing. Everybody doing the same shit.
Of course,
we learned that while we were in the military.
Well,
everybody
same
was
shit, chatting
while we
different
were
shit.
doing shit.
Yeah.
How many times we go home on leave after coming back from doing all kind of extraordinary shit overseas, and the same guys are doing the same shit in your town.
Doing the same shit, but chatting different shit. Like, yo,
I'll
man,
bougie,
I got
bro.
into this. It's like, bro, you still there. You still the same.
Bro, I hate being on an airline with a whole bunch of black people, dog. They be acting ignorant as fuck. I'll turn bougie, bro.
Racist.
I'm like, how much these
You
niggas?
Yeah.
You
You a black, you a white supremacist.
He Uncle Ruckus. That's Uncle Ruckus right there.
America. Hey, I'm trying to Uncle Ruckus, bro. Man. Listen, man, especially man, I'm telling you, man. Oh man, bro, I'm telling you, man. I ain't gonna lie, man.
So you don't fly on Sprint then, huh?
Man, bro, I
hell no.
He said Sprint. It's Spirit, but
Spirit.
Goddamn colors though. That's
bro. I flew that shit twice. I flew one time going to the DR. That was with my ex-girlfriend.
I knew I was about to say going down south. I bet you.
That was with my ex-girlfriend. I flew Spirit there, and then I flew it from Vegas, from San Diego to Vegas, and I'll never do that shit again. Cause I was like, man, this some janky ass shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like I was
get
it.
Bro.
I was like, shit.
Hey, HB, when you going to Tanzania, man? Cause I'm going in February now, man.
I gave you the dates, man. Those dates ain't changed though, because those are my flight dates.
Hey, also, if you're going to Tanzania, man, go ahead and stop by a condo and resort, man. If you want a condo, I'll go ahead and sell it to you. You can retire in Tanzania, right on the beach of Pajaji. You get what I'm saying? Crystal blue waters, kite surfing.
Put that
I give you a good price on it. I got to listen. It's on my YouTube.
I got to holler at Travel Tone when I get out there, man.
Cause Lamar, can you put all the channels in the chat?
That's what's up. Yeah, I already got my dates locked down. Tonight, I'm about to start booking my accommodations.
No, I didn't know obstacle stuff out here. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, I got a property in Tanzania, right, Pajaji in the south. Good part, man.
Obstacles had a whole business in Africa at one point.
Where is this?
Yeah.
Where is this part of Tanzania?
Well, it's in Zanzibar, which is the island, and then in south, it's on Pajaji, the beach. But that's the one with the shallow water, so you can kite surf and crystal clear water. The other parts is a little bit more harsh waters, but that's where everybody goes to do kite surfing. It's the first resort of that nature built on the island because that's when the initial Tanzanian government opened up the ability to do a joint venture with foreign companies to build out resorts, to build more housing on the island. And it's really nice, man. They got another project going, but this first one is already done. Some people Airbnb, some people sell on their own or, rent it out. And then other people just live there and retire.
So for Zanzibar, where are the people party at and hang out at for Zanzibar?
Down in Zanzibar, because that's different than, Tanzania and Dar es Salaam.
Because that's where you say you got your crib at, right? In Zanzibar, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly around those areas. They have built out waterfront parties where people go to the beach and to the hotels and the resorts, and they kind of party there.
So how far your spot?
It sounds like this is a more white affluent area where you don't have to worry about the niggers that HB Gun Global don't want to be around.
Well, you in Africa, so that's the good part. It ain't like American Houston niggers.
But Zanzibar different. Crazy though with the prices. There's no Bolt, no rideshare apps. They're gonna be trying to run up the price on you a little bit. It's more of a
But the hotel, but the resort got all that stuff on lock, and they give you good prices, and they already pre-negotiated them. They got bike services, all that type of stuff. Because most people are not they're just going to the beach and going around. They're not going all the way up north. And the island's only so big, right? So
and you pay
net. Go ahead.
You pay more for stuff because things are imported from the mainland to Zanzibar. Zanzibar doesn't produce anything. So let's say
sounds
you'll
like
pay. You'll pay extra for bananas or anything.
Yeah, I want to ask, man, because I haven't figured out what I'm going to do, man, because I know I'm going to want to go visit Zanzibar, but you know what I'm saying, but I don't know, what I should do out there. People keep telling me like, hey, you should go to Zanzibar, but nobody really giving me no information. They just keep kind of dudes talking in code. I'm like, man, don't talking code to me. Just tell me what it is so I can know what to do.
It's not for a thing.
Now you got obstacles. He got a whole place for you.
Yeah. Dar es Salaam is more for a single guy, though. You could get a girl and then go to Zanzibar.
Exactly. I was about to say, you act like you want all the girls. Get yourself a girl and be like, man, I got a property on the island of Zanzibar. That's something ninjas, passport bros ain't got nothing. They ain't got no like that. They can't tell a girl man, let's go down and escape to the island.
Ride over to Zanzibar for a week.
Yeah, exactly. I got a crib on the beach. Like, they ain't saying nothing like that.
It depends on how much that shit costs. How much you gonna are you Airbnb?
Y'all talk that business offline, man. Don't be putting no prices on the airwaves. Y'all
respect the channel, but I got you with a good price.
You might get the OTO special. You might get the O2O special.
These cats, man. Chop it up with no excuse. I'll try to have Traveling Tony if he available.
Did you talk to J Focus? Obstacles?
Nah. J Focus, no.
Oh, okay. Because somebody else has a property in Zanzibar. They emailed me. I didn't know if it was you or not, but they emailed me.
I want to say that Will has a property in Zanzibar.
Yeah, they wanted me to promote it on the video, and they offered me a couple free nights. I just, I'll be bullshit. YouTube.
Will, the one that has the app that he sold for millions. I think him and his wife have property in Zanzibar.
Yeah, it's a lot of Americans in Zanzibar as well. So,
shoot, man, I do better than that. Shoot, if you sell my property, I give you 5 racks. Boom, there you
go. Side commission, finder's fee.
There you go, finder's fee. Like, I don't care.
Fee for 5 racks.
I told the Zanzi, they were like, hey, can you give $1,000 sensitive for us? I was like, man, bump 1,000. I'll give you 3. Sell my property. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's all good. We all eat.
What do you guys think about rounding up all the male feminists and putting them in
Yeah,
concentration?
Madagascar. Sorry about that. Yeah, you're right, Drew.
Oh
It's
yeah,
Madagascar.
man. Yeah, that's another problem too with online, man. You got all these sucker simp ass dudes over here that capitulate to these women. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem too, man. Because
Yeah,
I had dudes come over on my lives where, you know what I'm saying, like motherfuckers got a problem. So I was like, oh, man, you got a problem with having an opposition that you don't want to echo chamber. I say, bro, my channel is about brothers getting a passport, traveling, enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? So what's the opposition for that, bro? You want me to just be here and be miserable with your ass and shit? And like, you know what I'm saying?
HB, I'm kind of curious about that. I mean, like, can you go into a little more detail? Like, why are these men going on your channel and complaining about other men getting a passport and just saying, "Hey, I'm just not going to deal with this stuff here in the States"? Like, what's the issue?
And then I don't see the thing is because they can't travel. I think that's what it is, man. A lot of some of these dudes are in relationships, man. They can't do anything. They hate it. It's envy. It's envy. They sit here talking about like, you know what I'm saying, trying to lace you with some game. I'm like, nigga, you ain't got lace. But like, bro, you know how many women I smoked in the US, bro? That shit nothing, bro. Like, I'm not trying to win a contest, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, for you trying to sit here and try to tell me about, you know what I'm saying? Well, you need to just stay here and build up your build a family here and all that shit. I'm like, bro, like, what are you talking about, bro?
But why do they care? Why do they care about you staying here? And I wouldn't care. You see what you understand where I'm getting at?
Yeah, I get it. But I'm saying that dudes are weirdos, man. I'm like, these dudes got to go. They got to get out the paint, man.
Round them concentration camp, man.
I'm telling you, man, it's no reason for a grown ass man to be hating on another man, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I understand, like, okay, if you trolling, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I say I'm trolling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna keep it up. I'm not gonna make it a thing. It's not gonna be my image. It's not gonna be my persona online. Me being a big ass troll. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I might joke around. You know what I'm saying? But like, if that's your damn thing, like you sit up here hating on niggas online, that shit weird as hell, man. Like, I'm just saying, like, I wasn't raised like that to be a hater. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So a lot of cats, man, it just weird like that, man. You just sit up, a grown man, you sit up online just hating, or even just being somebody's comments, just like saying some crazy shit all the time. That's just weirdo shit, man.
You sound triggered by somebody I know.
People miserable, man. Some people just miserable, bro.
No, I mean, I'm not thinking about the guy you talking about. I'm talking about some other dude, man. I had a dude from Oakland, man. Some dude from Oakland came on my channel with some lame ass shit. I'm like, bro, what you talking about, bro?
If they from Oakland, they pookies. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
And then I told him, I said, hey, bro, I said, you supposed to be from Oakland, but I thought Oakland was known for having some players and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying nothing player about you, dog. I think is, man, you probably married, bro. You sit up in your house, you married. You sit up online, you know what I'm saying, and you jealous because, you know what I'm saying, brothers out here traveling, doing, you know what I'm saying, they mobile and they doing their thing, and you know what I'm saying, you feel like you got to try to knock them down and shit. You know what I'm saying? That whole crowds at the barrel mentality, man.
Nah, I used to live in Vallejo. It was like 20 miles from Oakland, and I'm telling you, man, in the town, that's what they call Oakland, was the town back then. But anyway, I'm gonna be real with you. Them dudes ain't married. They ain't doing nothing with their damn life. All they doing is smoking weed all day, and you know what I'm saying, and doing the hood shit. You know, that's why the white folks left Oakland. That's why, you know what I'm saying, they left Oakland for a time. I think they're coming back now, but they left Oakland. All the money left. I mean, Oakland literally became a shithole city.
Yeah, that's gentrification. They can buy it cheaper. Let the crime go up, let it become a shithole, and they go and get it for pennies on a dollar.
Mm-hmm.
That's old school.
Oakland, ain't that where that Asian lady got kicked out? The mayor.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, she was the mayor of Oakland.
Yeah, they got her.
I think there's another Asian woman going through the same thing in Boston too.
What they kick her out for?
When they said she was scamming and shit.
Yeah,
she was taking some of the state's budget or whatever.
Yeah,
something about money.
Yeah, probably city money. She was probably misusing city funds, more than likely.
Bad leadership, man. Bad leadership, man. A lot of these city girls,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I think so. She wasn't doing about the crime. I think the crime was going up to
Oh
it.
yeah,
And, you know,
yeah.
California, everything got here where they don't they just let people just steal shit, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Steal stuff. Do drugs in the open. Hell, Tent City, man. I used to party in Frisco all the time down Market Street, and you know that kind of used to be the little spot, and it's all Tent City. The last time I was there, man, it was all Tent City. Oh, don't even try to ride BART anymore. Forget it.
Yeah, I was thinking about moving to Texas, man, but
Bring your ass on down here. I don't. You know how many people I'm talked out of California down to Texas or Georgia?
man, I got
People sold their properties and moved down here just to save money.
I'm coming. I'm gonna come, man. This maybe a weekend in like March or February, man.
I'll be in the Philippines, bro. You missing me?
Oh,
I'll be in the Philippines, man. But you can
leaving?
hey, you go down to Dallas. The Phyllis is in Dallas.
Okay.
The only thing.
Go ahead.
The only thing with Texas is because there's no state income tax, which sounds wonderful.
No state, no property either, especially if you're a veteran.
Well, yeah, if you're a veteran, I know they don't have property tax, but I didn't know. So there wasn't a property. I thought basically every county, because that's how the county gets revenue.
Why I recommended a lot of my clients from California move, because their houses are worth anywhere from $2 to $5 million.
Yeah,
equal a same size house down here for maybe 4, bank the rest, and start doing side investments in order to use it for retirement. Why are you staying in a house with that over evaluated price when you can live as comfortable down here, cheaper, and also continue to do investments with that gain?
yeah. I mean, I agree with that standpoint, but the only issue is without the state income tax, things like roads don't get funded. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I'm from Texas,
this
and
this is oil country. It's gonna get funded.
Gonna get funded. I mean, Texas used to have beautiful roads. I'm from Texas. I'm from Dallas originally. Texas had wonderful roads, and it went to shit.
Yeah,
it went to shit.
They're crapping on the money.
I'm from Dallas originally. Yeah. But but the thing is like, you got all this oil money. You've had all this oil money now for going on, I don't know, at least 20 years now. I know there's some dry period, yeah. But the thing is that I mean, you have to invest in your infrastructure, and then it's not only that, but then we all saw
Texas, they don't invest in their infrastructure. That's why
Yeah.
they only have Centerpoint, and Centerpoint subcontracts to about 5 other fucking power companies. But when the power goes out, there's only one person you can call, and you might not even have a direct contract with them. You might be sublet to a damn country.
And that's another problem.
Houston has beautiful infrastructure. I mean, their highways are pristine, man. Like,
no, brother, there's too many potholes and everything else now.
Yeah, and it's the same.
I don't know.
Man, them motherfuckers don't even know how to do proper drainage. When there's a major downpour, 45 is fucking underwater, bro. Underwater. Yeah, it's going towards Galveston. That motherfucker goes underwater. They haven't put the proper drainage in right around the swamps of Galveston, right before you get to Galveston off the 45 going that way. On the lower part of Houston. I'm on the upper north. I'm north of Houston. I'm up in the Woodlands area.
It's always been like that, man, going east.
Yeah.
Well, that I mean, come on, if you got advanced infrastructure, you should know how to do drainage by now. Goddamn.
Yeah. And then I don't know if it was Lennar or if it was just state regulations that or lack thereof.
Massachusetts is another place that doesn't have state insurance or state tax. There's several places that don't have state tax. I don't want to just say exclusively Texas. So
yeah, I mean Florida doesn't either, but and Florida has its own issues too. where, okay, now like insurance companies, they're bailing out of Florida. You can't even get homeowners insurance in Florida. So as soon as a hurricane hit, you're screwed.
Yeah, a lot of insurance companies are sneaky like that in several states. Like Kansas has a problem with tornadoes. Houston, same thing. Between tornadoes and floods, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, and then with the condos, I've been keeping up with the news, but this is why I don't believe in condos. But people are getting feed to death with condo fees, right? And literally, their condo fee. Literally, they get a letter in the mail saying, "Okay, and you got 60 days to come up with like $20,000." Who the heck, It's like,
it's not just condos, because when you live in a gated guarded community, they come up with their little HOA fees too, and they'll wind up grinding you to death for the clubhouse and all the amenities that come on that gated guarded community. So you get in a lot of different areas. If you don't own your own land and build outside of a development, you're gonna get it through Melrose and whatever.
But the thing is, everyone's going to the governor, the state governor, they're going to DeSantis, and I don't know if Abbott is still the governor of Texas or not, but
he's still here.
Yeah, so you got Abbott, and then you got DeSantis in Florida. Everybody's running to them. Hey, we need you to do something. It's not our responsibility. You need to be prepared. It's like, bro, I mean, who the hell can be prepared for a $20,000 bill that comes out of nowhere? I mean, it's like
I want to go down the rabbit hole of Texas. We can go back to where we were before.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just saying, but I was just saying real quick, just before you convince the man to go to Texas,
Well, I can tell you this: this is the worst infrastructure I've ever lived in. I've lived in several states in the United States. I've never had to sit in a house for a week without fucking power.
Yeah, I mean, you may as well go to fucking
right there. And
you may as well be in Africa.
In multiple fucking states, I've never had to sit in the house longer than 3 to 4 hours without fucking power.
Exactly.
I mean,
you may as well go to Africa, man.
I live in 5 different states, and Texas as a whole is one of the best states I've ever lived in.
Oh my God! What states did you live in?
Hey, I'm talking to some damn African chicks right now in South Africa. They in Soweto. Them motherfuckers ain't had no damn running water in damn 3 damn days. I'm like, how the fuck? I'm like, shit like that is crazy, man.
No, I need to know the states you lived in before Texas, because I've lived in several.
No, I lived in Houston. I lived in Houston before Katrina. You know what I mean? And I don't know what it is now, but Texas. I mean, Houston, particularly, it's a beautiful city, man.
I didn't say nothing about beauty. I said their infrastructure sucks.
It does.
And you on the north side, man. Like if you go.
And you would think I'd live better on the north side. As affluent as this area is, you would think it was better here. It ain't.
Yeah, but that's supposed to be. If you were like Katy is well put together.
Katy is okay, but that's in flood area. I was looking at Sugar Land, Katy, I was looking at all those places. Yeah.
Outside the loop, Kirby is nice.
One thing I don't have to worry about is flooding here.
Hey, you gotta do your research, man. It's flat. It's flat.
I came from a flat state. You know how flat Kansas is?
Oh, yeah, that's good. Tornado central, huh? But you ain't going
Texas is bad.
Some of the best food I've ever had.
I didn't say about the food. I said the infrastructure, bro. You don't get it confused. Don't get your feelings all wrapped up in it.
Infrastructure, man.
You would think everything comes bigger in Texas. They have like redundant fucking power plants and all this other shit.
I can't even ride. I can't even ride rims in Philadelphia. Like your car, you can't even have a nice car in Philly because the streets don't match your car. You could have 24-inch rims in Houston.
They call them dunks. I ain't never got used to seeing them things, man. That shit is ridiculously high. 28
swangers, man. You can have swangers in Houston. Man. What y'all got anything, man? Before I
No, man,
close it out, man.
Been kicking it for a minute, man. I'm good. You know, it was a good live, good discussion. We jumped through a lot of topics.
Yeah.
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 okay.
Obstacles to opportunities, man. You need to send me an email, man.
I'll put some in the private chat into it.
Yeah, put it in your back chat in the private chat real quick. Both of y'all exchange emails. I know I got both of y'all's emails, but y'all need to chat it up. So 2025 is coming up right around the corner. What y'all brothers doing for the new year? Where y'all going? What's your plans for travel? You know, how many countries y'all trying to hit next year? You know, tentatively, because I know life has happened and things change, but how many countries y'all trying to hit up next year?
Oh man.
Who goes first?
Go ahead, Darnell. We already know you going to Brazil, motherfucker. Goddamn, you going to damn DR. You're gonna have your two for the Brazilian chicks fly in, and that'll be your whole escapade the whole year.
Hey, when
Well,
that's I thought that happened already.
No, because he was selling his house.
Yeah. But yeah, I plan on doing that.
Listen. All I want you to do is not sell your house and then have those chicks just bleed you dry for all your profit. That's all I'm saying. Please don't do that. Go ahead, doing it.
Well, I mean, you pretty much stole my thunder earlier. But a little.
I have to get you to spit shit out, man. You be taking too long, man. You got these damn round the barn kind of explanations and shit.
Well, I'm from East Texas.
By the way, Drew said go get a haircut.
Yeah, I need to do that too. Yeah, like I said, I plan on about January, maybe February 1st. Once my father's situated, my brother's situated here, or at least temporarily situated. I'm gonna fly out to DR. Get that, scratch that off my bucket list, and you know what I'm saying. As far as Brazil go, I am going to try to get things going in Brazil. I don't think I'm going to move down there in 2025. But I plan on trying to get my my affairs in order here. Basically, once I get my my money situated with,
just give us the countries and the time of year.
Well, I mean, going around robbing his barn. You see what I mean?
You said plans for 2025.
I just said no countries. I said countries. I didn't say.
Well, okay. I also plan on going. Becoming a regular crossing the border into Mexico. I'm trying to get closer down to the border so I could, instead of being like a 4-hour drive, I'm, less than 2 hours away.
You gonna compete with the QB passport?
Yeah, I got to give the man a little bit of competition. He's got a monopoly, and you know what I'm saying. I got to kind of break that up a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna be doing what QB's doing, though, because I don't want nobody going to my spots. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep it, quiet, kind of how Andrew does things. Hey, I'm keeping my spots quiet.
So DR, Brazil, and Mexico, and any other country?
Pretty much. I mean, I might go to Thailand. I mean, I really don't. I want to go, but I don't want to go, kind of thing. It's one of those things, I don't want to go too far into it, but there's just some things I just don't like about Thailand.
Oh, here we go with the damn LBs. You and Andrew got the phobias and shit.
I mean, there's that, and then also too, the stories you got to remember, before the passport bros, I know I was a government contractor, and they were going over there all the fucking time. And let me tell you,
playing on the stories is okay. So Thailand is a possibility. So you got about 4 countries you're going to.
That and then I'm planning on trying to go to the Philippines with my father. I want to show him the Philippines, and
Y'all are
you
not
know,
welcome to come by my spot. I'm just telling you because you were trying to leave your daddy with me.
What? I mean, come on, man.
No,
You know, he's a
not
Navy
at all.
guy. He gave you a ride during your days in the Corps. You know, he gave you a
No,
ride.
I'm good.
You
With
know, can't
I'm
be a
good.
battle buddy.
Nobody's daddy.
Oh,
All right,
but travel, man.
go ahead, Buck.
When you travel 2025?
Did Buck go to sleep? Did Buck work?
I don't know, man.
Buck be creeping.
All right, HB, man. You wanna let people know what you doing 2025?
Yeah, man. 2025 is gonna be lit, man. I'm gonna start the year off right, man. I'm hitting up 4 countries, man. Out the gate, man. The first 2 months, I'm hitting up 4 countries out the gate. Yeah, so I'm hitting South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, Zanzibar, Rwanda. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
That's 6. Is Zanzibar considered its own country?
No.
Okay, so yeah, hitting 4 out the gate.
Damn.
I don't, be honest, I don't know what I got planned for the rest of the year. That's still up in the air. But most definitely, that's the first of the year. That's what I'm gonna be doing. You know, back on my fitness game, trying to get that up.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it.
Well,
but I'm gonna keep everybody updated, of course, on the channel going forward.
Obstacles, I already know you got a long-term lease in Thailand, but are you doing anything other this year in 2025 coming up? Did we lose obstacles too? You're muted if you don't know.
Probably took a full break, man.
Yeah. Anyway, I will be in Thailand at the end of February 2025. And then obviously every 30 days or 60 days, I'm gonna have to make a border run. So that's gonna start hopping around Thailand, Taipei. I want to go to Taiwan. I'd like to hit China, go back to Hong Kong at least.
You better hope you hit Taipei, man, for that shit over there.
Well, I gotta land there just on a layover. The way Ever Airlines flies out of Bush International, you fly from Bush International right into Taiwan, and then you have a layover there, and then you fly into Manila.
They got a huge population of Taiwanese in Houston or something.
I don't know, but they just the Ever Airlines for some reason is right there in international airport, and one stop. You're in you're in Manila, which is cool. I thought I would have to go on one coast or another in order to get there. Nope.
Yeah,
but,
George Bush. George Bush International.
I'd like to go to Guam again. I'd like to hit Guam up. We'll see how my girl is feeling, but so she's gonna be taking a lot of hops with me, especially when I do border runs. You know what I mean? Besides for running around Philippines while I'm there.
Try to do it within the next 3 years, man. You know, come 2027, man, the Pacific might be changing.
Yeah, man. Hey, I got a question. I was gonna ask. No excuse, man. I'm like, I do want to continue working out. Tony brought up the topic, man. I'm like, bro, like when I pack, man, even I'll be bringing like a suitcase, 2 suitcases. I mean, one big one and then one carry on. Bro, you know what I'm saying? Bro, I'm big, dog. My clothes.
Dan,
you know
I am not taking his daddy to Jollibee.
They take up a lot of space, bro. They take up a lot of space. But I was thinking, like, should I bring gym clothes, man? Because the thing is, that's going to take up a lot of more space, gym clothes. Because I do want to continue to work out, but at the same time, not being able to have my clothes clean. Because if you're working out, man, you got it. Like, even if I bring like a few pair like gym outfits, man,
you got to get your laundry done. Yeah, you got to get
your laundry done every damn day, man. And then because
you got an Airbnb, don't
you?
You
have you got an Airbnb where wash and dry?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I
That's
got to
what,
try to find one of those, man. You know, I'm cheap, man. I be trying to get the cheapest
Yeah, I know you be
Airbnbs that
cutting
look
corners every which way you can.
like that. I be trying to get the cheapest thing that look nice. You know what I'm saying? That's how I be looking at my area. I don't try to stay in no expensive ass places and shit. That shit
All I
don't.
know is since I'm not doing no round trip ticket, I'm doing throwaway tickets. That flight over there is first class all the way. Ain't taking no other shortcuts.
well, yeah. Make sure you. I mean, you can find an affordable Airbnb with at least a washing machine.
Yeah, some of them have washes, but the thing is, man, you know, I mean, I guess your clothes could dry in a day. Because sometimes you got to worry about your clothes being able to dry and shit. I guess I probably bring like
But
$30
But some of them may have on the washer and dryer. It's like one unit. It's like one unit. So that's
Man, I
a
was in
must
South
if you
Africa.
want a
That shit
long
didn't work, bro.
trip.
Hey, I was in South Africa. Them little cheap ass. Look, I don't know what it is over there. Them countries like those third world developer countries like Thailand. Like when they have those washer units, them shits ain't the same as in the US, man. Them shits be janky as hell. Them shits don't dry nothing, bro. them 2-in-1s. Them shits don't be dry shit, bro.
That's a
And then
spin
half
I
dry,
know
so
it
you
take
can
like
get them out
3
there.
hours.
Yeah, it's a spin dry
It'd be
type
like
of thing.
3
You
hours,
don't
man.
hang them out.
you can only put a pair of pants and a shirt in that bitch because the little thing is so small. I'm like, God damn, you can't wash shit, bro. You be washing clothes all day, bro. If you had to really have to wash your own clothes over there, man. That's what I noticed over there. The motherfucker, that shit,
You
them
wash
units
every
be
day.
small as hell, man.
My girl over there washing clothes by hand. I said, ain't no fucking way.
Hey, some people they still like washing clothes
doing
by
that
hand
shit.
over there.
Yep, I said
But
whatever
be
place we
mindful though when
renting.
you pack, man. You know what would have been a good thing for y'all to advertise the sale is the weights, because if you
Oh, the scale,
overweight,
the
man, if
digital
your luggage
scales.
overweight,
Yeah, I'll put that on my list.
if you're overweight, man, that'll be.
Hey, my shit was overweight in South Africa, but they was giving me breaks though. The chicks, man, I'm telling you, dog. Hey, I was like Drake over that bitch, bro. Them motherfuckers, they kept telling me they was like, we supposed to charge you extra, but you know what I'm saying. I was like, and then they was like, okay, I'll let you go this time. I was like, but the thing is, it wasn't that expensive, you know. The luggage charge. I think like the luggage charge was like, I think like $10. It wasn't shit. It wasn't like the US. The US they can hit you like $50 to $100 type shit.
Yeah.
Over there wasn't that much though. Like even if it was overweight, they wasn't gonna hit me in the head. It was like I think it was like $10, $15, some shit like that. It wasn't much. But that's a lot to them SA people over there though. It's a lot for them.
Right.
Yeah, man. You could pack enough. You could bring some workout stuff, man, 1 or 2, and just wash that shit every day, man. Throw that shit in the wash, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna figure it out before I go, man. I think I'm about to find one of them like one of these little clothing workout brands where they make the light clothing. Because I think I used 2.
Yeah. Tanzania and Tony said the laundromats are super cheap there. You can find somebody to do all your laundry for you at the laundromat.
Yeah.
Just go back and pick this shit up.
Yeah, that's what I did last time at SA, but that shit was just a hassle, man. Because it wasn't close to my Airbnb. But I'm gonna make it work though. You know what I'm saying? So
man, you are really pinching pennies over there with that damn grab, ain't you?
Now he's smart. Don't let Ronin, trash you. You smart.
Hey, grab, boy, that shit. Boy, I boat, boy. I was wearing that shit out.
I'm sorry, I'm bougie when I travel. I'm sorry.
Man,
There's no excuse going in 2025.
Where is no excuse going in 2025?
Oh, man. January, 4 countries.
Damn.
South Africa, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya. February, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Brazil. 3 cities in Brazil in March. May, I might hit up Ethiopia again, and I'll probably pair with Thailand. And then October, another city in Ethiopia. And I'm going to try to squeeze in maybe Cuba or El Salvador this summer. But it should be a pretty busy year. traveling. You know,
There you go.
so it'll be lit. It'll
God
be
willing,
lit,
there's no
man.
World War III by next year, but you know, all
I know,
things
man.
being the same, you know, we those are our initial plans. You never know what's going to happen after February or January 6th.
Hey, man, I know. Hopefully, I can
All
get
I'm
some.
saying is y'all better
money.
get somewhere. Get the fuck up out.
Peace.
And watch that shit from afar. As long as the dollar don't change and it's to my detriment, I'm happy, man. I'll take those little hops and stay right where I'm at and be fruitful and multiply. Try not to have too many kids.
Well, if you want stability, you could put your
I won't even want to hear it. I already know what
no,
you're
no,
about to suggest.
no, you don't. No, you don't.
I ain't trying to take care of your daddy.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I was talking about if you want stability in a currency, go to the Swiss franc.
Oh, well, they don't use that in the Philippines.
Yeah, but you know, but it'll help. But the Swiss franc is historically a safe haven.
Well, I'm sure.
I wonder where my basketball cards could be worth money. I feel like I've been saving them all these years. I got Jordan cards, Magic.
Yeah, you need to go and look at that. I mean, collectibles are big time nowadays. A lot of different things, especially cards, sports cards, and even coins now. Certain coins have been reevaluated for a higher market value.
Oh, really? I got a few cards, but I don't have that many. I thought I had a whole bunch of cards, but I opened up a baseball cards and I was checking the stats on all them shits. I'm like, it's a bunch of no fucking bodies. I'm like, damn, I ain't got no fucking good cards, man. I'm like, then I need to get Charles Barkley and Shaq to sign my cards. I got Charles Barkley and I got some Shaq cards, man. I need to get them to change. I'm trying some
you
old.
Gotta go to a game first.
I need to get them up. Hey, I need to get them up for sign them, bitch. I know that shit be worth some money then.
I know.
And I got some Kevin. I got Kevin Johnson basketball cards. I got some other shit too, man.
You ain't got no Grind rookie card.
No, I ain't got none of shit because I stopped when I was collecting cards. It was like in the 90s when I was a kid. I started doing that shit like once I got a teenager. I'm talking about early 90s. I got some like Shaq from the Magic days, like early, like them type of cards. You know Kevin Johnson when he was with was that the Suns?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like them old ass like early 90 cards.
I'm gonna sign cards and give them to y'all, man. When I used to play in the league, man.
What? What league? What league you talking about?
The NBA.
I need to see that rookie card for real.
Manute Bol. I'm gonna sign for Manute Bol.
Oh, because you get mistaken by him all the time, right? Manute Bol, like what, 7'4", and you only what 6'3", 6'4"? How you get a whole extra foot taller, bro?
Nah. But all right, man.
All right, brothers.
I appreciate
y'all.
Mm-hmm. All right, man.
All right, peace out.
Yep.